Well, hey, everybody, what's going on? Friday night.
Yep.
DJ Maniac said, hey, it's Goth Night here, too. I'm on the train in now.
Yeah. We're going.
Yeah, we're going to, well, not to the same one that DJ Maniac is going. That would be a long way.
Yeah. No, we're going to Barbarella.
We're going to Barbarella for Memento Mori.
Yeah.
This evening.
Yep. And
so we're already all pretty.
One of our regular listeners is going to meet us there, him and his wife. Or a wife or girlfriend, I don't know if they're married. I think they're married. Patrick's going to be there. They happen to be in town.
Did he used to be in the chat?
They used to be in the chat. They're at the club right now. They're at another club.
Oh, okay.
At 10, they're going to show up at Barbarella. It's not a club. They said they had to see a couple of artists. So I guess maybe they're going to an art museum or a venue, live music venue. Maybe I don't know.
I mean, yeah. So hopefully they can find the place because Barbarella is a little hard to find if you don't know where you're going.
I told them just follow your damn GPS. It's going to take you down into some warehouses.
It's like and there's no sign.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
But you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Zach says, Jenny, you're looking especially pale tonight. Why, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was using a different foundation.
Yeah.
That's why that I forgot I had, actually, because I was cleaning my bathroom the other day, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is fucking full. And that was the reason that I didn't use it before, because it's a little pale for everyday use. But for going out, fuck yeah, I'm going to wear it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, and he says, love the lip color. Thank you. It's actually like 3 lip colors, like, combined.
That's Patrick and his girlfriend.
Dude.
That's them.
Okay.
They get a shout out.
Yeah. Yeah, they're supposed to come tonight. Like I said, I hope they can find it, because it is kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oracle said, it's amazing what you can find when you declutter, right? It's like the other day I was at Dollar General, and I was just kind of like, oh, I think I'm out of hand soap, so I bought a big thing of it, and then, like, today I was cleaning up, and I was just like, oh, shit, I already had, like, a full one that I haven't even opened yet. Because I'm stupid, but you know what I mean. I have, like, all of those Amazon subscriptions, and sometimes I forget, like, which ones I have. Like, I canceled a lot of them because I had one for, like, shampoo and conditioner, and I ended up with, like, I had a closet full of shampoo and conditioner. I'm like, clearly I do not use enough shampoo and conditioner for me to get, like, a box of it every 2 months, because it was just piling up. So I stopped that one. But, I use shampoo for soap, too, so that's kind of good. But holy shit.
Use it for bath soap. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because it's dual purpose.
Yeah.
And conditioner is good for, like, shaving your legs and stuff.
Yeah.
So I use that for that, too. Like, yeah, I wash my hair and shit, but I don't wash it every single day. I probably wash it every other day. Because otherwise it gets all yucky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, what was I going to say? Man, I was going to say something, and then I forgot all about it. Zach says, have you ever done your brows with crazy colors since you draw them on? Mine are thin as fuck, and I hate it. Also, they don't move much, so I always have RBF, resting bitch face. I've never, I don't think I've ever put them on, like, put different colored eyebrows on. Have I?
No.
Not that I remember.
No.
Like, sometimes I'll do black, and then, like, I've done, like, hot pink, like, underneath, or white underneath, or something like that, but I don't think I've ever made the actual eyebrows, like, a different color. I don't know why, like, I never really thought of doing that. Maybe someday. But I tried to grow mine back. Like, when was it? Like a year or two ago? And I grew them back for a while, and then I was like, they were such a pain in the ass that I was like, oh yeah, now I remember why I shaved them off in the first place. It's a pain to draw them on, but it's a bigger pain to, like, pluck them and keep them looking...
Pluck them like a chicken.
Yeah, pluck them like a chicken.
Y'all are gonna have to see what Jen's wearing tonight, man. She's looking fantastic. She's wearing a black see-through dress with some badass little fucking booty shorts and fucking stockings and shit, and boots. I'll have to activate porn cam here in a minute.
Activate porn cam. Oh, I should make, like, a little video thing for that.
Activate the porn cam.
Activate
you
porn
want to see
cam.
it on the show? Okay, I'm gonna activate porn cam.
Activate porn cam.
Yeah.
Well, it's not really porn cam. Let's not. Don't get too excited.
Yeah.
Well, let me, like, stand up because
I'm
all crunched up.
Turn the light on.
Get a good angle because I can't fucking see what it looks like. I can't see what it looks like.
Yeah,
Honestly, I think it looks better from the front.
Hold on, man. I'm trying to get enough slack in here. There you go.
Ta-da.
Yeah. Hold on. How does this thing? Look at that.
Oh, you know why the cats
it's
did
not
that.
long enough.
The cats did that.
Cats did that. Yeah. So there's some cleavage action.
Well, okay. So it was kind of porn cam.
Yeah. Porn cam. Turn around. See, I'm an expert at shooting this shit, man. Look at that shit. Gonna get some angle in the back. Give me some back arch there, Jen.
Oh, like Tom Hardy.
Just like Tom Hardy. Hold on.
I don't know.
Just like some Tom Hardy. No, you're turning away too much. Turn sideways. I'm trying to get a profile shot. Other way. Other way. See, look at that. There you go. There you go.
You're ridiculous, Tom.
Of course, I'm ridiculous.
Are we gonna talk about your your thing?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, let's tuck that back under there because that's right where my foot has to go.
All right.
Yeah, Bambi came in here the other day, and the porn laptop was leaned up like that.
The porn laptop.
Well, that's what we watch porn on when we stream it. But she came in and she accidentally like bumped into it and it fell over and she freaked the fuck out.
Okay.
So
yes, and it's tied. All the damn cables got it.
Zach said, "I love that I started the Tom Hardy meme in here."
Yeah.
I still cannot believe that arch, man. That's amazing. I really like that photo. I'm gonna keep that.
Looks like, is that Miss Lee from Korea?
Yeah.
She said she loves your dress. How you doing?
Thank you,
Miss Lee. Yeah.
DJ Maniac said, "At least you don't have chronic bitch face."
Yeah. Yeah, fucking Tom is a Steven Spielberg of porn directing, of course. Jenny's trying to get me to talk about my gay underwear. I got the gayest underwear of all time.
You really do. I mean, it looks good, but it is like the gayest underwear ever.
Yeah, it's professional underwear.
Underwear.
Zach's gonna love this shit. First of all, it's got a cod piece.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then it's got pockets in the back of the underwear where you can put foam pads in.
Yeah.
And what it does is it makes your booty pop.
Yeah.
And then I wear it because it keeps my pants on.
Yeah.
Because I wear real low-rise pants.
Yeah.
I wear real
they are like
pants.
kind of low-rise.
They're like super low-rise.
Right, yeah,
So I got to have like a little bit more.
So they don't fall down.
I got to have like a little bit more.
When you bend over.
Yeah, like that. So they don't fall off. I'll show you.
Uh-oh. Are you seriously taking your pants off right now? Oh my god, it's so early.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
That shit's gay as fuck.
Look at how gay that is.
Look at this shit. It's got a fucking cow piece in there. It's got a cow piece in there. I'll show you. See, look at that shit. Look at that fucking shit.
Oh my god. It's so early.
So what it does is
it's so early. I'm so glad I'm so glad that I didn't do the sponsor on this show.
Hold on. And then in the back, it's got that shit. It's got a fucking pads in the back.
Got his little booty sticking out.
Yeah.
DJ Maniac said thirst trap Tom.
It's a thirst trap. It's a fucking multinational thirst trap. I got girls in Korea looking. They're right in this league.
Yeah, Lily said it's not PG-13 now.
No, this shit's R-rated.
It never is. This show is like like I said, if you were here on Wednesday, like we actually have. They're not like exactly sponsors, but we do like affiliate stuff now. And I was thinking about doing one at the beginning of the show, and I was like, you know what, we better not because I know how this shit's gonna go, and we might get in. But you know what's weird? You know, we did the Wednesday night show, which was about a serial killer, obviously, and about a dude that like beheaded chicks and stuff. Yeah. No ad restrictions.
No.
Isn't that mystifying? But yet, like other things we do, like there's ad restrictions on stuff that seems to like not make any sense. But then we do shows about serial killers, and it's fine. I don't know. I don't get it. But whatever. I think it's just AI doing it.
And Oracle says, "Wow, we aren't even paying for this." That's right. Normally, y'all have to pay for that shit. You know.
Tom, you are such
Normally,
a cheap. You are a cheap whore.
I'm a fucking hoe.
You're a cheap whore.
I'm an online. I'm an online hoe.
You cheap whore.
Man hoeing.
You are kind of man hoeing.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah.
It's all fun and games.
It is, yeah.
I do it because I like it, not because I need it.
It is kind of fun. I just wish it wasn't so much waiting around, you know?
I wait around too much.
It is kind of boring.
Yeah.
Because I'm just sitting there going, wow, it would be cool to like do something.
Waiting for some dude from England to show up and go, I'm really horny. I'm at work. Just put on a good show. I don't care what you guys do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really,
Which is really, that's how you deal with camera people. Cam performers. People. Don't tell them what you want. Just say, have a good time. Give me a good show. And you're going to get a better show.
Thank you, Bryce.
Yeah, what did Bryce say?
For Tom's thirst trap. LOL.
Yeah, thirst trap. Thirst trap. Thirst trapping all the way down in New Zealand. All right? Got the damn Maori paying me. Okay? Facial tattoos and shit. Getting ready to do the fucking warrior dance and just pop out the cod piece and cha-ching, cha-ching. Money comes.
That made me really...
Either that or fucking club. The fucking club.
That made me laugh when you took the cod piece thing out.
Yeah.
That was like pretty funny because he's like, look.
It's just in a pocket.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, the butt ones are like that too. Mm-hmm. The funny thing about those jock mail underwear, they do look really cool, but like I think that like the Amazon store, do you get them from Amazon, right?
You get them from Amazon, and Shein has them.
Yeah. And
or not Shein, or maybe it's Temu.
I mean, they're
good quality.
They are actually. They're really they're expensive.
Yeah.
But they're really well made, and they look really nice.
Yeah.
But they're very very specifically targeted to a gay audience. So.
Yeah, they have gay models that say, you know what I mean, that say fucking weird homosexual stuff on the tags.
What was the one that had like the tag? Oh, I'm trying to remember what it said. It was actually like pretty gross, but like
it was gross. It was nasty.
Well, I mean, not gross, but you know what I mean.
It had to do with fluids.
Yeah, how the underwear should be soaked in fluids. Like you can imagine.
It was a whole bunch of shit.
Because I'm like reading that going, wow, that's
Yeah.
Okay.
No, they're not all. They're not. Some of them are specifically targeted towards a gay audience. Other ones are more neutral. You know, where it doesn't really. The coloring and the styling, you know, is just more for. They're just a real good quality men's underwear for that kind. They have a couple different models. You know, they even got jock straps. They got that. I got one of those.
Yeah, he does have one of those.
Yeah, it's black and red.
With his little booty sticking out.
Booty sticking. Yeah. Jenny loves that shit.
Because then I tell him to turn around. I'm like, come on, twerk.
Yeah. She's trying to give me a twerk. And then she tries to
whatever he wears.
I gotta run away from her. You know what I mean? She's coming at me with some kind of object.
Coming at you with an object.
Yeah, she's like, you stay here. You know, you stay wherever you are.
You be still.
Give me the back arch. That's give me the back arch. Give me some Tom Hardy action. But no, the ones I just showed you, that was kind of like the mid-price ones. They got like another pair that I have that was like top of the line. It's got like, it's black, but they have white highlights, white band, more printing on them. The material's a couple more plies in it, and it's like a stretchy material with little fine holes in it, like from sports type material. And man, everything breathes really well.
Yeah,
man.
it wicks away moisture.
Yeah, what's funny is that, you know, you wear underwear all day, man. That's just nasty, you know. Fucking by the end of the day, not these. It's like they're like you just put them on. I don't know what it is. They don't fucking. They smell just like you just put them on. You know what I mean?
Are you smelling your own underwear, Tom?
Well, you know, you're checking it. You know what I mean?
I'm just teasing.
Yeah.
Because I do that too. I'm like, can I wear these again? No, I don't usually do that. Even if I have underwear on for like an hour or two, I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna get a new pair.
Yeah, there have been times where I've like, fucking man, these things. It's like I just put them on. I had them on all day.
These still smell okay.
Yeah.
Now I'll do that with like pants or a shirt or something if I only wore it for an hour or two, but absolutely not with underwear. No way.
But the top of the line shit's like $40 a pair.
Yeah, that's a lot. I didn't realize that they were that expensive, but they are like really, really nice quality, though, I have to say.
Yeah, they're built to last.
Yeah.
The ones I just showed you were the cheaper ones. They were probably about 30.
Yeah. Zach said if Tom thinks he's a predator, he should come hang out at the gay bar I go to during Pride Month, because holy shit.
That bitch better be called the manhole. The manhole, the ramrod.
I would totally go to a club called the Ramrod.
Yeah.
That sounds like super fun, actually. I used to like to go to gay bars back in the day.
Yeah.
A lot of women like to go to gay bars. You know, well,
goth clubs are gay bars.
Well, that's true.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Well,
they're kind of just like all weirdos.
It doesn't really matter.
Like if you're a weirdo, okay.
Yeah.
We don't care what it's a whole spectrum of weirdos, just whoever.
And entertainment people.
Yeah. Gramthars says, I used to have mesh underwear, but it kept getting caught on my Prince Albert stud. Talk about ouch.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like mesh.
Yeah.
It's like a stretchy mesh.
I can understand that because I have to watch what I wear too because I get shit like caught on my nipple rings.
Yeah.
All the time. So it's like if I can't like for the like when we stream and stuff, I can't really wear because I have kind of all these sort of fishnetty kind of little outfit like body stockings and stuff, and I can't wear them like without a bra.
Yeah.
Because the shit is just gonna catch, and then if I try to pull it, it's just like ah.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I did Jen's piercing. I put 2 bars in there, and they have beads on the ends, and the one she has on right now, they have like a semicircular moon piece of metal hanging on.
Yeah, like a half ring.
Like a half ring. So there's bars and half of a ring.
They're nice. I like them.
Yeah, they're cute. Yeah.
Although I fainted when he changed them out.
Yeah. Sexy shit, man. Slave girl shit, man. Yeah.
Tom loves that.
It's like something out of a damn Arabic fucking harem.
I've been thinking about doing the nose too, but I can't really decide.
Nah.
I mean,
Not septum.
No, I wasn't gonna do that.
Side.
I do have some kind of like fake, like lip rings that are fake. You know what I mean? Because I just wanted to see how that would look. I kind of like those.
Yeah, pretty good.
The only problem with those is that the fake ones, you know, you got to watch because like when you're drinking like beer, like out of a can or something like that, like a lot of times they fall out or. Actually, like last time we went to Memento, I had them in, and they didn't open until like they opened a half hour later for whatever reason. Yeah. And so we're like, well, fuck it. We went to 7-Eleven and got sandwiches, and then when I was eating sandwiches, I lost one of my lip rings, and I thought I'd swallowed it.
Yeah.
But I found it eventually. It was just in my lap.
I got a bunch more rings and more piercing stuff. I can do lips if you want.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a lot easier because that's very small gauge.
Yeah. Well, like I said, anything is going to, after going through that, like getting my nipples pierced, it's like,
yeah,
wow.
After that, I'm never going to do something like a tongue.
No.
I imagine that shit's hard as shit, but probably pops and cracks when it goes through there. I'm not going to do that. Ooh.
I don't want my tongue pierced anyway. That just seems like it would be a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I thought the nipples would be a pain in the ass, and it is kind of, but I got used to it.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to, like, be careful. Like, when you get out of the shower and you're, like, drying off with a towel, you can't, like, knock the towel into or, like, you know, pull the towel across it because it'll catch. Yeah. So you just kind of have to watch what you're doing. That's all. And I kind of got used to it now, so it's not so bad. It's not so bad. Zach says, I think the weirdest porn I ever saw was a dude with the physique of a heroin addict getting fisted by a bear-type dude wearing nothing but a bow tie and talking like like a character from Fargo. I'm going to look that up. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, what's the movie? Jen will find it.
What? Yeah, I'll find it.
Yeah, I'm sure it'd be hard to find that one.
Well, I don't know. Maybe not. Danny Rowling said mesh underwear is like you fishing and catching your own package every time. Zach says you should do one of those little studs on the side of your nostril. My sister has one of those, and it's really cute.
Just a stud, yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Not necessarily a ring.
Yeah. Zach says, "Oh, I have that scene bookmarked. I can send it to you."
Yeah, send it to Jen.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah,
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Tom probably won't watch it. He don't want to watch it, but I'll watch it. Because I'm just
I can imagine it already. I'm just going, okay, yeah.
I'm fascinated by that kind of stuff. We haven't seen any really good porn lately, though. We were just kind of watching.
Time.
Yeah, not really. We were kind of watching the animated stuff, but
yeah.
Didn't we have the animated stuff on the other night?
Yeah, that running in the background.
Yeah. That's like a compilation, and I like that one because it's long. You know what I mean? So you can just kind of put it on in the background and have it all kind of going on. It's like 2 hours or something. Danny Rowling said if you pierce your tongue wrong, you could die. So yeah.
Yeah, probably lose a bunch of blood.
Yeah, I think that bleeds a lot. And like I said, I never had the desire to have that done, so you don't have to worry about that. I don't really want that. I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, so remember, okay, I did remember, I wrote it down. Here was one thing that I wanted to bring. I've been wanting to bring this up on the show for like a really long time, and I keep forgetting. So here's this weird, it's not a huge thing, but it's kind of like a little mystery in this area where we live.
Oh yeah, we gotta try to do a show about this.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if we could do a whole show about it. We're gonna have to like research it.
Well, maybe we could solve it.
Maybe so. So every time, like when we go to the Chinese buffet, we're on this road. It's kind of like a little bit of a rural road, like for part of it. And at this one stage, there's like a sign on the side of like a homemade sign on the side of the road. And it says, what did it say the first time we saw it?
Kitten has claws.
Kitten has claws.
Or kitten, I love you. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So it always says kitten something something. So we saw the sign and I was like, that's weird. I wonder what that means. Because it's just like a random sign.
It's
like
a wooden sign on the side of the road in the woods that's been painted, spray painted over, and then black. The background's black, and then they spray paint in white usually.
Yeah, either that or it's like that chalkboard paint and they write on it with chalk, but it looks like paint.
The sign's not very big. It's about that big, but it's on the side of the road. And every time we pass it, every few weeks, the message on it's different, but it's always to kitten.
Yeah.
Kitten fights back. Kitten has claws. Kitten, I love you.
Happy birthday, kitten.
Happy birthday, kitten. Shit like that.
It's like kind of creepy.
Yeah.
And like we keep it doesn't change every week, but probably like every 3 weeks. 2, 3 weeks.
2 3 weeks, yeah.
Like it'll say something different.
Yeah. And it's just a wooden sign. So Jen went online and just put in kitten has claws sign. And kitten,
like
kitten,
on the name of the road. Because the name of that like little town is Grand Island.
Yeah. And evidently other people were asking about it on Reddit. It's been going on for over 10 years.
Yeah, there was an article about it. Like, I only found, like, one article about it that was in, like, some local, like, magazine or something. And it was from... The article was from several years ago. And when the article was from, they said it had been going on for 10 years, like, at that point. Like, people have been asking about it. So it's been going on for a long time.
More like 15 years then.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of like...
At
so
least.
every time we pass it... It said kitten has claws today.
Yeah.
When we passed it. But, like, every time we go by there, I'm always like, what is the fucking story behind that? Like, you know, me, because I always write about true crime and shit like that. To me, I'm picturing somebody whose daughter disappeared, like, 20 years ago. And they're putting that sign out there for them, like, for some reason. Like, I don't know why that was the first thing that occurred to me. But, you know, Tom's like, well, maybe it's not anything that, you know, weird, but... I don't know. It just seems really creepy to me.
The handwriting looks like a man's handwriting.
It does, yeah.
And it's not particularly good. It's done quickly. Whoever's doing it is doing it at night. I guess. No,
we were thinking about like putting a trail cam up
put a trail cam
to
up.
see who it was that was doing it. It's got to be whoever owns that property, but I don't know. You can't see a house because it's just the side of the road, and then
it's just a field.
It's just like a field.
Yeah.
And I think there's a little trail like back there, but maybe there's a house back there, but I don't know.
What you can do is go down there, see where that trail goes and what house that is, what house is on that property. At least you'll know who lives there.
You have to be careful, though, because it might be a crazy person and they'll shoot you.
I don't know. Who knows?
That's what I mean. You don't. It just seems very odd. It's a very odd...
Somebody trying to get attention.
I guess. So it's like, so I didn't know
Very
if it was...
committed to it, though.
Yeah, because it changes. Like, we saw it the first time we went to the buffet, which was a while back. And we saw it the first time, and I was like, wow, that's weird. And then, like, I think it said the same thing the following week, but then it changed, like, the week after that. And I was like, hey, look. Yeah. Like, it says something different. And it's like, somebody's coming out here and changing the sign. And I was just kind of like, what the fuck is that all about?
I don't think it's for a person. I think it is for a kitten. I think it's for a cat. That person might be a cat lady in there. She might have a bunch of cats. And it's just a statement towards cats. I don't know.
Today you said that it's like, well, maybe it's a crazy guy, and that's like that's what he called his ex-wife.
Yeah, it might have been that.
And he's like saying he still loves her. And
stuff. It might be that.
or something. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, I was thinking of the guy who built Coral Castle.
Yeah.
He was kind of like that. He said he built that for some girl who dumped him.
Right. Which, wow.
When she was 16. Yeah, she was 16 and he was in his 20s or 30s, I think. He was too old for her. That was a strange dude. I think we did a show on that guy.
If we haven't, we should. I think we did do a show about like weird Florida mysteries, but and I thought we covered it on there, but that was a long time ago, so I don't remember.
It wasn't an American guy. It was a guy that moved from Eastern Europe and came here. And he was a little bitty guy, like 5 feet tall. He was little. And he built an entire castle out of some kind of rock.
Coquina.
Coquina? Yeah. And had a whole garden and a rocking horse and everything. Or a moon that you could rock in it, like a rocking chair.
It's crazy. And like a door that swings like all the way around.
It's all stone. Big, too.
It's super weird.
I think he was from... wasn't he from the same place Nikola Tesla was from?
Oh, no, I can't remember. I know we talked. I know we talked about that show.
I think he was from Croatia.
Oh, maybe.
I think he was from Croatia or something.
That's a weird fucking story.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being that bothered by somebody leaving you that you would construct a whole entire thing like that. Like, how does that? What is the even connective tissue between those two things? It might be bullshit. Maybe he's just like, well, I needed a reason that kind of sounded good. I don't know.
Well, one of the stories I heard said that he was talking about that girl who dumped him, and he was building that as to like get her back kind of deal, right?
Like, how's that supposed to
prove
work?
His love for her? But evidently, and it wasn't a girl in the United States. I think she's back in Croatia. I think.
But see, that's what that dude didn't understand. It's like, you do that for a girl,
yeah,
and she'd be like, "Oh, so you're crazy then?"
Well, here I'm gonna make it even worse.
No thanks.
He was doing this after he was married already to some other chick.
Yeah, and I'm sure his wife was super thrilled about that.
So
why are you building that? Oh, no reason.
You're building this for this other chick.
Yeah,
she would come back.
And she's like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna leave you too. Bye. You're not gonna build that shit for me, I'm sure. All right, I'm out of here."
He might have been bullshitting though.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, that's crazy.
It's hard to know. It's hard to know what's true when you deal with people who are crazy.
Yeah. Gramthars said it's someone who has too much spare time and likes being creepy. Yeah, I guess so. Like I said, just on its surface, it doesn't seem creepy. But I don't know. I thought it was creepy. To me, like I said, the first place my brain went was, this is their daughter, and their daughter disappeared or ran away, and they don't know where they are. And so they keep putting this sign out there, like, hoping that they'll see it for some reason. Like I said, and that might be just because, I read a lot of true crime. So that was the first place my brain went. But it could be completely innocuous, but I don't really know.
I wouldn't have to set up a shop. Somebody's saying that I should set up and catch them. I wouldn't have to. I could just put a trail cam on that thing.
Yeah, I think Tammy said that too.
Yeah, when they come.
That's what we were thinking.
It would just capture them. Or I could just go to the house that's on that property, and
it's a local mystery.
Just go in there and say, "Are you on writing all the signs? The kitten has claws and shit." I'd have a fucking body cam on, and see how they react. If they denied it, I wouldn't believe them.
I mean, they have to know that everyone's kind of curious. Well, yeah. I'm curious, and obviously other people were curious too, because there was an article about it a few years ago. Because everybody's like, "What the fuck is that?"
Right.
That's like so weird. And like I said, they're obviously still doing it because it changes every few weeks. Like I said, I think it says kitten has claws now. No, it says kitten I love you.
Yeah, I think it does.
It said kitten has claws.
It said that more than once.
It has, yeah. Last week it also said kitten I love you, but before that it said kitten has claws.
Yeah. And
it has said that more than once, like it's changed out. So they're recycling the same phrase. Yeah. I don't know, it's bizarro. Gen X Jason says, Jenny and Tom, Bauhaus, Peter Murphy solo, or Love and Rockets. Bauhaus all day, yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, I like Peter Murphy's solo stuff too, up until about, I'm going to say Cascade.
Yeah.
Although, Dust was good too, although it took a while to grow on me. But, I like Love and Rockets as well, but I think, like, after they got real famous, like, after the, Love and Rockets album that had So Alive on it, I was, like, kind of not as... They went a little mainstreamy.
Let me check if Miss Lee...
I like Express, though. That's probably my... Express is probably my favorite.
Let me check if Miss Lee is still with us. Miss Lee, when you listen to the show, are you in Korea or are you in the United States? And when we start talking about music, like he asked us about Peter Murphy, Love and Rockets, or Bauhaus, do you have any idea what we're talking about? I don't know. I don't know if we lose some of our international audience. Well, there's probably a lot of Americans that don't know fucking...
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. So it's like, I don't worry about it too much.
Yeah.
Because, probably like some Americans are like, who the fuck is that? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Danny Rowling said, did Jenny and Tom ever see the film Burnt Offerings? Fuck yeah. I love that movie. I read the book several times, too. Yeah. The novel is also good. Yeah. And if so, Was there ever an old lady that was living in the upstairs room, or was it a ghost? Just wondering.
We talked about that.
Here's the thing. In the movie, like, sorry if you haven't seen it, but it came out in the 70s, so come on. In the movie, they kind of imply that there wasn't really anybody in the room, and that Karen Black, like, kind of took over the role of that, like, or was possessed by whatever was in there. In the book, it's a lot clearer that whatever is in that room is not a person. It's kind of like, and maybe I'm reading into it, but my interpretation was whatever's in that room is like the force that is animating the house. Because like the house is like a living entity.
It's the spiritual heart of the house.
Right.
It's like an evil spirit, and it's slightly in another dimension. Kind of like, because didn't you say it was just a white room?
She opened it, and it was just like a white light in there.
Yeah. And it was the life force of the house that was vampirizing people, basically. So it could rebuild itself.
Yeah.
Which is another take on...
I love Burnt Offerings, by the way. The book and the movie.
That's another take on two other stories kind of like that. One of them being The Shining, with the spirit that ran the hotel, the Overlook. It was something kind of like that. Even the guy that was the ghost that was running the Overlook, he wasn't the Overlook. He was just the main guy, wasn't he? You never actually talked to the Overlook.
Yeah.
In the book, I don't believe.
Not that I remember. It's been several years since I've read the novel.
Yeah, the Grady. So not right. Grady. The guy who was the bartender.
Lloyd
is not the hotel. I think he's just the head ghost.
Yeah, I kind of thought he was just like the representative.
Yeah, he's the head.
That was how I read it.
He's the head ghost in charge of it, serving it. I don't think he's the hotel, if I remember correctly. And then there's another movie. It was called The Evil, where...
That was 1978, I think.
1978. Yeah. I love that. I saw that in the theater.
That's a really good movie. I feel like it's underrated.
I saw that in the theater when I was a little kid. My babysitter, Kimmy, took me to see it.
Oh, Kimmy.
Yeah, she was so cute. She's taking me to see it. She's about 13, 12. She's probably about 12 when she took me.
And Tom was like a little bitty Tom.
Yeah, I was a little kid.
A Tomlet.
What year was that?
78 that movie came out, I
would have
think.
been either 8 or 9.
Yeah.
But in that one, people go into this haunted, I think it was a resort that they were going to turn into some kind of a getaway for troubled teens, some shit like that.
Yeah, weren't they turning into like a school or like some kind of educational center or something like that,
something
I thought.
Like that.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
And at the very end, you find out that there's a couple of ghosts. One of them is a good guy who built the place, and the other one is some evil ghosts that are trying to unleash the devil, who's entrapped in another dimension, in the basically the basement of the hotel, if I remember correctly. Wasn't it like the basement part of the hotel?
Yeah.
Down on the floor.
Yeah.
They had a big door with like sealed off with crosses and shit.
Yeah.
And the guy who built the place, I think, was a guy who was a Christian guy who was in the occult. I think he was sealing away the devil. Well, that's kind of
let's just keep him in there.
I think it was
in
the
devil.
Tupperware. It was either a demon or the devil or an evil force. I don't think it actually says who it is, but when you see him, he's got horns and he's in a suit and he tries to talk his way out into freedom and everything. So he definitely looks like the devil. But he might have just been the evil life force of the house impersonating the devil. So it's kind of open to it. So the 70s had a lot of that.
Yeah, that was like very much in the...
Yeah.
There was a lot of movies like that. And a lot of them were good. Yeah. Honestly, if I had to like narrow down my very, very favorite subgenre of horror, it'd probably be like 70s haunted house movies.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I love them so much. And Joseph brought up Legend of Hell House is another movie of that type. Yeah, same kind. And I also love Legend of Hell House, and that novel is great too. That's written by Richard Matheson. But I think like the granddaddy or grandmother of them all actually is Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. That came out in 1959, that novel. Yeah. And I think she was, I don't know if she was the one that introduced the concept of kind of like the hungry house, or like a house that manipulated the emotions of everybody in it so it could like feed off them. But I think that's where like a lot of the subsequent novels and movies that came out that are like that, a lot of them are kind of homaging that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Miss Lee Kingsbank says, I was washing my hair, Tom. Yeah, okay. But I asked, are you in the United States or are you in Korea? That's what I wanted to know.
Oh, okay. I thought she was in Korea last time.
I thought she said she was in Korea.
Yeah. Because she said hello from South Korea.
It's from Korea. Yeah,
so
yeah. Okay.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
I don't know what time it is in South Korea. It must be like a big difference.
It's probably a big difference, yeah.
Yeah, because it's 8 p.m. It's 8 in the evening.
It's 8 at night here.
Yeah. Danny Rowling said the ending of Burnt Offering sort of reminded me of The Sentinel, which that's also a great movie.
Yeah.
Which I would love to see. Yeah, we reviewed it a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Which I would love to see a modern sequel with Christina Rain's character coming back. Yeah, that would actually be pretty cool. That one, I don't know if I'd do a remake necessarily, but yeah, you could totally do a sequel to that. I mean, that was kind of like there's a whole universe you could explore there, really.
Yeah. Burnt Offerings had Karen Black in it, though.
Sexy ass Karen Black. And it also had Oliver Reed.
Yeah, Oliver Reed.
Being crazy.
He'd wrestle you naked in front of a fucking
I mean, he didn't do it
fireplace.
in that movie, unfortunately.
Yeah. On other movies, he did.
That was Women in Love.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Which I also saw, which is also a great movie. It's not a horror movie.
I wouldn't mind going back in time, meeting Oliver Reed in the bar.
You and Oliver Reed, I feel like, would vibe.
That shit would fucking vibe. And then next thing you know, we're drunk as fuck because I know that dude would fucking drink me under the table.
Oh, big time.
And then he tries to wrestle me naked by the fireplace, like in that fucking movie.
And if you were drunk enough, you might be like, all right.
Because I know what you're doing.
And then I'd be over there kind of drunk, but I'd be like,
I saw this movie. Jenny pulled the camera out.
It's like, oh.
Zach could be directing.
Yeah, I'm keeping this for
He put his
posterity.
director's scarf on. Zach, his little glasses and his beanie. The old school Hollywood.
Yeah, those little pants with like the
little pants that fucking punch out.
The pooch out like that. the little
cone.
The little horse riding pants.
And the cone that you yell through.
Yeah, the little cone. Yeah. Zach says, God, I love Women in Love. That's a great fucking movie. I love that movie too. Danny Rowling said it's 10:06 a.m. in South Korea.
Okay.
It's 10 in the morning. So it's already tomorrow.
Okay. That's why she's washing her hair.
Wait, is it tomorrow or is it yesterday? Or is it this morning? I don't know. Is it later or earlier? Joseph says, are you familiar with the 1983 horror board game, Nightmare House? It is a haunted house war game. I've heard of it, but I never had it and never played it. I did have some kind of, when I was little, I did have some kind of creepy board games. I had one called Mystery Mansion, which I fucking loved.
I think I might have had that one.
And I had one called Witch, which I think was also called Haunted House, but it was the same game.
I think I had some board games there for kids.
Yeah.
They were like haunted house board games, but it's been so long I don't remember them. I don't remember. I just remember I had some of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They were good when you were a kid. They probably would be bored.
Because even when I was little, I mean, anything that was like creepy, I was like, yeah, buy me that.
There was one I started to play. We used to play it at Military Academy. It was Stratego. We loved that one.
I loved Risk also.
I never got into Risk.
You never got into Risk?
I liked Stratego and I liked Battleship.
I liked Battleship also.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and my brother used to play that all the time. We had all kind of like fucking board games. But yeah, I liked the horror-y ones. And
then video games came in and all that shit went away.
Yeah, and then we all started playing The Legend of Zelda on Nintendo. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Man,
actually at first we didn't even have, like, we were too poor to have a Atari. So we had an Odyssey,
I had one of those too.
Which was like a kind of a knockoff of an Atari.
The thing is, I think Odyssey was the same price though.
I don't know. I thought it was a little bit cheaper.
I think it was the same price.
I can't really remember.
It was the
so
American
long ago.
competition, and it had better graphics actually than Atari. And when they came out, because my dad bought one, and he gave it to me. And he bought that one over the Atari because the salesman kind of convinced him that the games were better and that it was an American company.
He's like, oh wait, I get a commission.
Well, Atari, I think, was an American company too, though. If I remember, yeah, I think that was from California. It sounded Japanese, but it was American. But it was so early on in the game. Some people thought Odyssey was going to end up being a better system.
Yeah.
When
we saw how that worked out with VHS and Betamax, right?
Yeah. But the thing is neither one of them was really that good because what ended up happening was like Intellivision came out and then ColecoVision came out and boom, both.
Oh, I remember that one, yeah.
ColecoVision was better than both.
We didn't have that either. I think we just had Odyssey, and then when the first Nintendo came out, we got that.
Yeah. But Intellivision was good. Remember that one?
Yeah, we didn't have it, but I had a friend that had it.
Yeah, that looked really good. There was a much better graphics compared to the other two, but it was expensive. The games were expensive too, and they didn't make as many of them. And it quickly got replaced by ColecoVision, from what I remember. And that had games like Donkey Kong on it, and they looked exactly pretty. To my eyes back then, they looked just like the arcade games.
The arcade game,
They probably don't now because the standards are my standards are a lot higher now than what they used to be. But they looked good. For a home system, shit.
It's just hilarious, like how happy we were with stuff that nowadays it's just like it looks like
look at it now.
Looks like complete crap.
What blew me away? I guess that was in 96, might have been 97. I guess I got that fucking N64. Man, I love that game. Had Bond 007 GoldenEye. Man, that was the first person shooter. It was the shit. They finally released it for fucking Xbox One, and I got it. I still play it. I love it, and it's so much easier with 2 joysticks.
Yeah.
Because N64 didn't have two joysticks. It had one and a bunch of buttons. The control for N64 wasn't that good.
Yeah, because he has a bunch of like older video games too. It's like.
And then they came out with Rogue Squadron, a fucking good flying Star Wars game. I loved it. I even had the fucking RAM boost fucking cartridge to make the graphics a little bit better. And then they, like you're talking about Zelda, they had Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time.
Oh yeah.
Man,
that's kind of like everybody
blew
loved.
My fucking
everybody
mind.
loved that fucking game.
And I loved that game.
That's like an iconic.
It took a long time to solve it when you did.
Yeah.
I didn't buy into those cheat books and shit. I tried to solve it myself, And some of those puzzles, like the one with the dancing dude in the fucking windmill, that took me a long time to figure that one out.
I liked Zelda, but as far as like the Nintendo goes, I think my favorite game was probably Castlevania. And then we had a Sega as well, and I liked Sonic the Hedgehog. Like I played that a lot.
Okay, Miss Lee says that it's Saturday morning in Korea.
Yeah, okay.
So she's in Korea.
So you're talking to us from the future.
From the future. You're talking to us from the future.
We haven't even gone out to the club yet.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. What are you doing on a Saturday in Korea?
Yeah, let's find out. Mm-hmm. Gen X Jason said, Jenny and Tom, is the sign behind you made out of metal?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Our friend Sophie, who is sometimes in the chat here.
And sometimes she's on the show.
And sometimes is on the show because she comes to visit us sometimes. She's from Michigan.
Yeah.
She sent us that for a wedding present.
Yeah.
And it's cool as shit.
Yeah, and you can change the colors. You can get them to fucking morph into other colors, and it looks great. The thing is, though, is it fucks up the autofocus.
Yeah, like every time the color changes, like the camera goes blurry. So I was like, well, let's just leave it on there because that's blue is color. Like that's the best color
that's
for
the best color on
being
camera.
able to see it.
Right.
But yeah. Yeah, Lim said maybe it's 9 p.m. where Tom is. It's actually 8:15. It's 8:15.
Yeah, Zelda. It was Zelda.
The
Ocarina
Legend of
Time.
Zelda.
Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, for Nintendo 64. I think that was back in 1996 or 7.
Yeah, I can't remember when that
Around
came out
that time.
first.
I love that game.
It's all a blur.
Yeah.
When you get to our age.
Yeah. I know it was later 90s.
I remember stuff real good until like about 1992. Like if you ask, because Tom will ask me all the time, what year did that album come out or whatever, and I immediately know. But after 1992, everything is kind of like starts blending together.
Yeah, weird.
And I wasn't even that old in 1992. I mean, I graduated from I was 20. I was 20.
Yeah.
In 1992. But after that, I was just kind of like, I don't really remember. So maybe I don't know. Maybe parasites are eating that part of my brain. I don't really know. I don't know. I have mad cow or something. I don't really know.
But I just remembered when N64 came out. Nintendo 64 came out. That was the first time I was really happy with a home system. That a home system could compete with and beat sometimes in a ways an arcade system. Because we grew up in a time where we had to go to arcade and stand up and play them things, which I still do nowadays.
Back in my day,
it's still fun to do that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I actually like to go. Like we went to when we go to Will's Pub.
Yeah.
For a while, they had an arcade cabinet of Ms. Pac-Man.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I play that all the time because man, I used to love Ms. Back.
Something about standing up next to a console and playing it. It's kind of a retro experience for us older people. I guess I don't know if young people understand it. Maybe they do. But,
yeah, there really doesn't seem to be any. I mean, like a lot of younger people seem to be into kind of the older games too. So, like I said, I don't know if it's. I don't know if it's the same.
Hard.
Yeah,
they were pretty hard.
They were hard.
They were hard. Yeah. But no, that N64 was the first home system where it was worth owning. Because I also had that fucking Sega. I had a Sega before that. Sega, what was it called? Sega Genesis.
Yeah, we had that too.
And that had good games on it, man. Sonic was really good.
Yeah, I used to really like Sonic, actually.
They were hit and miss. Sometimes you get a Japanese game that looks cheesy as fuck, the packaging, and you buy it and you'd love it.
Was Metroid Sega? Or no? That was Nintendo, right? No. What was Metroid?
Metroid was on Super Nintendo.
Okay.
I think.
Oh, I loved Metroid.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was
Metroid and Castlevania were probably my favorite
Mega Man
ones.
2 was also Super Nintendo.
Yeah. Zach says, I hate the aesthetic of most things from the 90s and early 2000s. You and me both. I really don't, and I can't exactly put my finger on it, but, you know, coming at it from like a horror movie point of view, there were some good horror movies that came out in the 90s and the early 2000s.
Yeah.
However, most of them sucked donkey balls.
Donkey balls?
Well, no, they were just kind of like, a lot of them were just like shitty remakes.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, let's remake the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but with like perfect looking hot people. And it's just kind of like, it didn't work. It was okay. Yeah. Like, it wasn't terrible, but it's just kind of like, it didn't like make me want to shower afterward like the original did. You know what I mean? It just wasn't scuzzy.
Yeah.
It just looked everything looked too glossy. Yeah. Everything looked too perfect. I didn't like a lot of the music from that era either. The 90s in particular, when we were at Mannequins last week and they played the Marilyn Manson cover of Sweet Dreams.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, God, the 90s were so fucking try-hard. It was just such a try-hard decade. Everyone was just trying to be extreme and crazy and weird, and it was just like, and it just gave me a headache.
That was the mainstream, though.
I know.
There was some stuff that I thought from that era that was really good. Like, I liked Massive Attack. I really liked the Shirley Manson from Garbage from that time.
Well, I like that too. There's good shit from every era. I'm not saying that.
Bjork was really good in the 90s.
I like her too. I like Sugar Cubes better than her solo stuff.
I liked her solo stuff too.
But her solo stuff is also good.
Okay. Miss Lee said she used to play Super Mario. Yeah, okay. So you must.
Yeah, I liked Super Mario as well.
Miss Lee must be around our age.
And I liked Super Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Like where me and my brother used to play that.
Yeah. She also knew Sonic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sonic was on Genesis, Sega Genesis.
Yeah. Because we had both. We had a Super Nintendo and we had a Sega Genesis, like later on, like in the 90s or whenever it came out.
She says something's a very cheap-looking horror movie. I don't know what you're talking about.
Where?
What's Miss Lee said?
Very cheap-looking horror. Like from the 90s and 2000s,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because Zach was saying, especially movies, they look so damn flat and boring and everything is beige. Yeah, it's just like everything is just very generic and it's like, let's put these like generic hot people in this movie and it's just, they remade everything like from the 70s and 80s and 99% of them were forgettable. Not terrible, but forgettable. And it's just kind of like, I think the worst one maybe, I don't know if I want to say the worst one, but the Nightmare on Elm Street remake was, that was unfortunate. Man, like how can you have Nightmare on Elm Street without Robert Englund as Freddy? He is that character.
Yeah.
And the makeup they did on the guy in the remake, who's, I don't even remember who the actor was, it just didn't look good. It looked really bad. Everything was like overly CGI too. Like even blood was CGI. And it was just, I didn't love it. There were some good movies that came out then. I did like Scream. I liked all that other kind of stuff. But I do kind of blame Scream for bringing back like a lot of the generic slashers and a lot of the ironic horror movies, which kind of pissed me off. So I didn't love that either.
My favorite Korean old horror movie, Miss Lee will know what I'm talking about. Pulgasari. Remember that one?
Did we review Pulgasari?
No.
I've been wanting to do a show about the making of that because that is a crazy fucking story.
Yeah, that's a North Korean
it's crazy.
movie. A North Korean kaiju movie.
Yeah.
Giant monsters.
Yeah.
And his name is Pulgasario. And
I thought he was cool looking. The monster was cool looking.
Yeah, the monster looked great. And it was made by the same people that directed Gojira. Okay? Yeah. It is because Kim Jong-il had him captured. He kidnapped
He kidnapped
the director, the director's
straight
wife,
up.
who was also another star.
And made him
do it.
Made them make a kaiju movie.
Now, they eventually escaped, though. But it's fucking funny.
You can't make shit like that up.
He's like some out of James Bond. Like a James Bond villain.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
It's a good movie, though. I'm not going to lie. It is a good movie.
Yeah, Pulgasario was good. It was a movie. It's an anti-capitalist movie. Pulgasario was a big fucking monster. He started off small, but he ate more and more metal weapons. So this is happening in Korea's medieval era. And the more steel he ate, the bigger he got. He was an allegory for capitalism.
Unfettered capitalism.
Yeah.
Just kept growing and growing, just like eating everything.
Got bigger, eating and getting bigger and bigger.
It's a good movie though. Like I said, and I really like the look of the monster. He's cool looking.
Yeah, and the quality is very high of the little models that he's destroying. And you can watch it for free on YouTube probably because there's no copyright on it. It's called Pulgasari.
Pulgasari.
Yeah.
It's North Korean.
Even though when they
kaiju.
say his name in the film, it's always Pulgasario.
Yeah.
So I think that's what his name actually is.
But they Americanized it,
yeah,
I guess.
Pulgasari.
Or anglicized it, I guess, if you want to say. Zach says Dancer in the Dark is a great and super upsetting movie, though. Yeah, I really like Dancer in the Dark, but yeah, I don't know if I'd ever want to watch it again because holy shit, is that shit depressing.
This Lee doesn't know it. She goes, what is that? It's a North Korean movie.
Like monster movie.
Monster movie called Pulgasario.
Yeah. It's good. I mean,
it's good, yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah. Kim Jong-il made it. He
kidnapped
a Japanese director and the director's wife. Those directors made Gojira movies.
He wanted to make a big monster movie.
He wanted to make a Gojira movie in North Korea.
So he thought that was the best way to go about things.
You can watch it for free on YouTube. Pulgasari.
Yeah. Bryce said Jeepers Creepers was good. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, there's movies in the 90s and early 2000s that came out that were good. But
she said she's heard of it, but she didn't see it.
Oh, yeah. But I don't know. I kind of feel like there was, especially like the mainstream horror, I just couldn't really get into it. Everything was just a remake. Everything just seemed really stale, you know? I think that was kind of why Asian horror got real big, like right around then, because people were kind of sick of whatever was going on, like over here. They're just kind of like, oh my God, we need to look to another country. You know what I'm saying? So that was why there was that big thing with all the Japanese movies and all the remakes of those, most of which sucked. Although I will argue that the American remake of The Ring is better than the Japanese version. Fight me. Although I don't think I'm the only person that says that. See, he's cool looking, right? I think he's cool looking.
That's Pulgasari.
He kind of looks like a boar a little bit.
Now, that script looks like Japanese. That's not Korean, but I don't know who made that poster. That might be a Japanese poster for it.
Yeah. Danny Rowling said Universal Studios should make a Creature from the Black Lagoon modernized version, like they did with The Mummy, Tom Cruise flick, which was good, just saying. Well, we're going to have to agree to disagree on that because I did not like the Tom Cruise Mummy movie. Because it wasn't about the mummy. It was about fucking Tom Cruise, wasn't it?
Yeah, I liked it.
Well, yeah, but I didn't like it for that reason. Well, I mean, if you want to see something like The Creature from the Black Lagoon, you want to see the Guillermo del Toro movie, The Shape of Water, because that's pretty much like Creature from the Black Lagoon, except he's the good guy. You know what I mean? Or he's like a sympathetic character. Because he's essentially the Gill Man. Like that.
Look how cool Pulgasari looks.
Yeah, I think he's cool looking.
Yeah.
Her.
Yeah.
He's mad.
That's capitalism. Coming for you.
Yeah, Tammy said Pulgasari is on YouTube. I thought it was.
On YouTube,
yeah. because
it's a good movie.
It's North Korea, so it's like nobody cares.
North Korean movie.
What are they gonna do? Sue me?
It's
like
North
for the
Korean,
copyright.
It's North Korea's only good movie, and they banned it in North Korea. Yeah, because once the director ran and escaped, Kim Jong Il said, "Okay, pull that movie, erase it, like it never existed." He thought he made.
That's not how shit works in the modern world. Sorry, you can't just like make a whole movie and then just be like, yeah, let's just pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody put that up on fucking YouTube somewhere.
Yeah.
So sorry. I don't know if you know about that, but yeah. Zach says, I think Dancer in the Dark, Miracle Worker, and Hereditary made me cry more than any movie. Holy crap. Yeah, Miracle Worker is pretty sad, but they made us watch that in school.
Danny said that he's got Godzilla's face. No, he's actually got a better face than Gojira. It's more like a bull, an armored steel bull.
Yeah, he kind of looks like that.
With horns, and he's got fangs. It's a better monster than Gojira, actually. It looks a lot better.
Well, the thing about the Godzilla movies is, one, there's so many of them. And two, like, sometimes the monster looked like badass, and sometimes the monster looked kind of stupid.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they had, like, dumbass ideas, like, let's put Minya in there, like this little baby Godzilla.
Yeah.
And it's just like, look, nobody wants to see that. We want to see a badass Godzilla stepping on people.
Yeah.
That's what everybody wants to see, right?
Lynn Lee agrees. She doesn't like Tom Cruise either. I will defend Tom Cruise.
He always
defend Tom Cruise to the end.
Look, I don't know the man, okay? I don't. But it's just like, I don't like a lot of his movies. I have liked some of his movies. He was good in Interview with the Vampire. He was good in Magnolia.
Yeah.
He was good in Collateral. He's good when he's playing an asshole.
Yeah.
When he's trying to play a good guy, I don't buy it.
No.
Because he's too cocky.
Kind of like an asshole.
Yeah, he's too cocky.
His best movie, Interview with a Vampire.
He's good in that.
He's good, yeah.
And I was skeptical because when I heard that he was cast in that, much like Anne Rice, I was like, "Oh fuck that noise."
He was great in
but he was good in it.
What was one?
He was good in Tropic Thunder
Collateral?
also.
No, not Collateral.
Yeah, Collateral.
Collateral.
Where he played like the hitman,
an assassin.
like an assassin.
Really good.
Yeah, he was good in that. Whenever he plays a bad guy, or a dick,
he's good.
He's golden.
Yeah.
Don't try to play a good guy though, that to make me like you and stuff, because I'm not gonna.
But he does.
I'm not gonna.
Tom Cruise does bring it. If Tom Cruise makes a movie,
I'll give him that.
He fucking brings it.
He gives it 110%.
He fucking brings it. I liked all the Mission
He uses his OT powers.
Uses OT powers.
To the best of his Scientology ability.
Special Scientology special powers. He can. If he makes a mistake, he reverses time, corrects the mistake,
so
and then time
happened.
goes forward, and you never know.
Right.
You never even know that.
That would be handy. That would be a
happened.
handy talent to have. I feel.
Yeah. He's looking at it from the whole track.
Mm-hmm.
He sees the entire past, present, and future.
Well, he's clearly
singularity.
superior to all
He's
of
a
us.
Superior OT8.
So.
OT8 superior Superman. But I tell you what.
So what can us peons say about him?
He fucking brings it in the movie. His movies usually make a lot of money. His fans come out to see him. He knows what the fans want to see. Most of the movies that he's made are extremely high quality. I stand right alongside all the Mission Impossible movies. Even the second one, the John Woo one, even that was a cool movie in its day. It aged out.
Yeah, I didn't love it. It's like it's very dated now, but yeah.
Yeah,
but the new ones were actually pretty pretty awesome.
The newer Mission Impossibles are right up there with Daniel Craig, James Bond. I liked them. Real good. Ring Rames is in it.
Ving Rhames.
Ving Rhames. Yeah, Ring Rames. Ving Rhames is in it.
Ving Rhames got butt raped in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. I like him. He's a good fucking character actor, though.
Yeah, he's great.
And he's great in Mission Impossible. Everybody in Mission Impossible does a great job. And that last one, he's fighting basically AI.
Now, isn't there like a second part of that coming out? Because that was like 2-part, yeah.
Yeah, that was
because we saw that in the theater, actually.
It's great, yeah. Great
it was
flick.
good, yeah.
I put it right there with. I got a soft spot for fucking Daniel Craig, James Bond. Even the last one.
I do too.
Even the last one, which was kind of a mixed bag. I still liked some of the homage.
I liked
that movie. Some people complained that he's a little too dour and fucking dark, but that's kind of how he was in the book.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
In the books, he was kind of like that. And some people say, "Well, they're putting all this woke stuff in there." Yeah, but it didn't get in the way of the fucking story. It was okay. It was just they're fucking all the fucking
People
Bond
need to
movies.
shut the fuck up about this.
Well, here's the thing.
Like, I didn't notice
They're
anything like
watching
that.
old-
People are just like,
Well, they're saying
they're looking for something to like cry about.
Yeah, well, okay.
is
The
all it
main one
is.
that they cried about is, man, they're trying to just pander and be woke. They made Q gay. Okay, he was
But I
gay.
thought, but wasn't he? They
No.
didn't really specify, and I just always kind of assumed.
No, in the old ones, I would say no. He was just an old guy. But in the new ones, they
So?
remember he was waiting on for a date. But the thing is, though, is that didn't get in the way of the movie.
Yeah.
And all of
People
the
that are bothered by that kind of thing, I'm mystified by people
all of
that
the
are bothered by that kind
all
of
of
stuff.
the James Bond movies.
Gay people exist. Get over it.
No, well, they're trying to defend the property. Oh, well, this got to be like this. But they didn't go back and watch those old movies from the point of view of the time in which they were released. In the time in which they were released, everything in a James Bond movie was considered to be hip for the time.
Yeah.
So all the James Bond movies, even back in the 1960s and the 70s and the 80s, you look at some of these corny 80s Bonds with fucking Roger Moore and shit. Some of that shit didn't age well. But in those
Absolutely
days when it was released, it was kind of hip.
Sure. Well, why do you think
Right.
that franchise had
Right.
has survived for this fucking
Yeah.
long?
Right.
Because it changes with the times.
Right. So
They
that's,
reinterpret the
just
character.
right.
It's kind of the same character.
yeah,
but
they
they just
just kinda
reinterpret it for the time.
reinterpret it
You
and they
can't
reboot it and they put
make
in-
the same fucking movie you made back in the
Right.
60s.
Right. James
It doesn't
Bond-
work.
James Bond always had contemporary, trendy shit in it, and having
Yeah.
a gay character in it is contemporary and trendy. So they're just following what was.
That's what I mean.
what
So
would
I'm
sell
just
in the
like
times.
not-
That's all it was.
I don't know. All of that kind of people that complain about that kind of stuff. I don't know. It just gives me a very like old man yells at cloud
Yeah,
energy.
yeah. But the thing is, they're young guys yelling at the clouds. They weren't
Well,
there.
yeah,
They
but
weren't
I've
there
told-
in the 80s.
I've told you before.
Yeah.
When I say old,
Yeah,
I don't mean age.
I know. It's just.
I mean attitude.
Right. But what's
Young
funny
people
is
can
that
also be old.
these guys that are complaining are in their 30s now, maybe early 40s. They weren't in the theater with me in 1984.
Well, they don't have the
watching
same
fucking
perspective.
Watching what James Bond when it came out, you know what I mean? The James Bond movie of that year, like shit. What was? There was one year where I think there were two James Bond movies in the same year. One was a Timothy Dalton, and one of them was a Roger Moore. I think.
I can't remember. Because normally they would
Some of
put
it's
them
in a-
out like once a year, but
Yeah, I think there was one.
but
where
I
there
think
was
that's
two-
a more modern.
Yeah, I think there was once where
thing.
there were two, or something. It might have been a Roger Moore came out, or no, a Timothy Dalton came out, but then a Roger Moore movie came out after that, and then there was something about the order. But I was in Brazil when that happened, so maybe the release order was different in Brazil. I don't remember actually how it happened, because they had different licensing and stuff for different countries.
Bryce says in the original novels, James Bond is bisexual.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Wouldn't surprise me though.
So there you go. So quit your fucking crying.
Wouldn't
I mean, none
surprise
of y'all are crying. I'm just saying. Gen X Jason said, Jenny and Tom, I've been thinking about that big donation you got on your Richard Simmons video.
Yeah,
Do you think that was Richard?
maybe.
I mean, the screen name was Rachel something.
Yeah, or maybe it was somebody who knew him.
Yeah. And all it said, it didn't say anything. It just said thanks on it, which I think is just like the standard response, like when you do a super thanks. But I just thought that was really weird.
Maybe that was the maid that is his friend.
Maybe she was just like, hey, thanks for not shitting on me.
Yeah, we said we defended her. 'Cause
Well, yeah.
you don't know. That's just a.
She's
that's-
obviously not controlling him with witchcraft. Like I
Right.
said, they've been together for like 30-something years.
Yeah.
Why would she fuck him over now? If she was going
Right.
to fuck him over, she would have fucked him over a long
Yeah.
time ago.
I'm sure.
Come on.
I'm sure they're friends.
She's like, ooh, I'm playing the long game. 30 fucking years. Yeah, nobody does that. Sorry. Ah. Yeah, they're talking about Lim Lee says, Pookie, what is she doing? She was in here a little bit ago,
Was you?
but she got like kind of bored, I guess.
I gotta go to the restroom. Maybe if I see Pookie, I'll bring her back.
Can you bring me a drink back?
Another
Also?
one? Okay.
That's only my first one. What are you talking about?
Okay. You don't have to drive.
I'm not driving.
I'm only gonna have one because I gotta drive.
Yeah, I'm not driving. I'm trying to like stock up on drinks right now so I don't have to get as many at the club. They don't at the bar. They don't really have a liquor license per se, so they just have kind of those mixed drinks like in cans, you know what I mean, which are very low alcohol. So I kind of try to drink before we go. A lot of people do. There's like a big parking lot, and like a lot of people just bring booze in coolers in their trunks. And like every now and then you see kind of everybody go outside and they're like out there drinking and like smoking pot in their cars, and then they come back in. But yeah. Rachel says, no, I'm not Richard Simmons. So she's here. You're here. I can in person. We were shocked. I thought, like, Tom, like, woke me up in the middle of the night. I don't know if it was in the middle of the night, but it was early. And he was just like, I think somebody just gave us $100 on one. And I was just like, no way. And then I was like, look at Jen's boobs. What are you, really? Yeah. Okay, go ahead. This is serious now. Now you cut my head off. Jeez. This is what I have to deal with. But I'm just teasing. I love you, Tom. But yeah. So, and the first thing I thought was that, oh my God, somebody messed up. Like they meant to put in like $9.99, and then they're probably like, oh no, holy shit. But it's just kind of like, seriously, if you did, like, seriously, that is fucking awesome. Like, thank you so much. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Because we were thinking about the one time, I don't know if you guys, I mean, most of you guys probably heard of Dan Bell. He did the Dead Mall videos and like abandoned places and stuff. And he was on a live stream. He used to do these live streams on Saturday nights. He might still do them, I'm not sure. But like where he would drive around Baltimore for a couple hours and like talk to everybody and take them to like abandoned places and stuff. And somebody gave him a super chat that was $500. And then he was like, holy shit. And then they were like, oh my God, I meant to just give you $5. And then there was like this whole thing. And like Dan Bell felt like so bad. And he was just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I don't get, because, you know, if you don't do like super chats, and they kind of roll all the super chats and ad revenue and all that stuff like in one payment, like through Google AdSense, and you only get it like once a month. Like it's the 21st, at least that's what mine is. So he's just like, man, I have to like wait until the 21st and then I can send this back to this person or whatever. But it was just kind of like, it was this whole fucking drama. And that was like what I thought of. That was what I thought of when I saw it. You know what I mean? Rachel said, I'm the one who's been listening for 6 years. You guys have been the bright spot through a lot of crap, including my stage 4 cancer diagnosis. Oh, man. Man, that is like such a bummer. I just like, the thing about it is like, we really like doing this show. And especially since we started doing live streams, I really like doing live streams because I like talking to you guys. And so I always just kind of think about it as us like kind of drinking and fucking around. But man, every now and then, like one of you guys will say something like that. And I'm like, holy shit, like we're actually like getting people through some stuff, and that's like pretty cool. I don't know, like I feel like I'm not worthy. You know what I mean? But it's like, seriously, I appreciate that so much. And I hope, like, how are you doing now? Because
what was said?
That's Rachel. She was the one that gave us that huge. She's here.
Okay, she's here. Okay.
So we were talking about it. So she's like, I'm not Richard Simmons.
Okay.
No, she just said, because you weren't here, I'll tell you. She says, I'm the one who's been listening for 6 years.
Okay.
You guys have been the bright spot through a lot of crap, including my stage 4 cancer diagnosis.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, if we could help you with that, we would.
I mean, yeah, seriously.
Yeah. What did they tell you? What have they told you? Like, you know, how old are you? How much, you know, what are they saying? What do they say is going to happen? Have they given you a time frame, or... Because, you know, shit, Kaylee, our friend, she died of it. We watched her just waste away. Man.
Well, and she was super young, too.
And she was young,
She was 34.
Yeah, and pretty.
But...
It was fucking heartbreaking. Man, fucking... Saw videos of her.
Cancer fucking sucks, man.
Saw videos of her in her final days, man. She was the size of a dog. Maybe 50 pounds. Fucking is heartbreaking.
Rachel says... My cancer has not progressed since it was discovered.
Okay.
I say it's because I can't miss your shows and reviews.
That's where it is. Okay. As long as
so we're just gonna keep doing them then.
Yeah. Okay.
We're just gonna keep doing them then.
Good.
Shit, man. I did 2 videos yesterday, a movie review and a thing for my crime and memorial channel. So I'm gonna put those up this weekend. I felt so accomplished that I got all that done yesterday.
Yeah. I couldn't find Pookie, Miss Lee.
I wonder where she's at.
I don't know. She's probably downstairs playing.
Yeah, she's probably downstairs fucking around. Hiding behind the couch or something. It's like, yeah, Limley said, yeah, Pookie should be live too. Yeah, she's like, usually if we're in here for a while, she'll come in and be like, what the fuck are you guys doing? It's like, why? She gets mad. It's like, you guys are not like paying attention to me. So, she's
constantly paying attention. Like, pay attention to me. This morning, I was in bed with Jen. We were waking up, and of course I'm coming in behind, and my hands, I'm a man, my hands are gonna start going around like this on her. And fucking Jen's
he's
like, I'm sleeping.
She's like, I'm sleeping. Why?
You come here, and I'm,
trying to pull me to like,
trying to pull her in, trying to pull her in by her boobs, And all of a sudden, Pookie gets in between us. She's like, hey,
how about me?
Hey, she's down by my legs and everything. She's trying to walking in a circle to try to make a space. Let me sit here. No, I ain't got time for this. And she just got up on her and like put her hands on the side of my calves and just rested up against me like she was playing piano at first, and just watching like that.
Pookie loves her daddy so much.
And watching the front door, or watching the door into the bedroom, because she's paranoid the other cat's gonna come. She's constantly watching the door.
She's looking for Bambi,
thinking Bambi will walk in.
For some reason, I don't know why.
She doesn't do anything when Bambi walks in. She just goes,
watches her.
Hey, yeah.
Here's the thing, though. If I'm petting Bambi, and Pookie sees it, Pookie will just sit there and stare.
Yeah.
And you can tell, like, she's got like her pupils are really small.
Yeah, and
she just sits there and like,
yeah. Yeah, and then,
why aren't you petting me? Why are you petting that
she gets
kitty?
jealous,
Yeah. They play together though.
Yeah,
like they don't hate each other. Like they don't fight or anything. They chase each other around and they play and stuff. But man, so now I'm like really it's like navigating a minefield, because it's like, well, I gotta pet Bambi because Bambi is like super affectionate. She's just like, bah, pet me, yay. And so it's like, if I do that, I'm like, where's Pookie? I don't want her to see this because she'll get like all upset because she's just kind of like. And then if you go like after you're done petting Bambi, like if you go over and try to pet Pookie, she'll be like,
yeah,
and she'll walk off. She won't let you pet her. She's like, nope.
Yeah.
You're petting that other kitty. So
yeah, your hands are dirty.
Yeah. You're tainted.
Cat. Yeah.
It's hilarious, those two.
You got her stink all over you. You're dirty. Yeah.
Rachel said it was breast cancer that metastasized to my bones. Jenny and I are only a month apart in age.
Wow.
So she's same age as me.
Man, it makes us paranoid.
Yeah.
Anything could happen at any time.
I mean, I try not to think about it.
Yeah.
That's why, see, you gotta appreciate this bitch right here.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta appreciate this bitch also.
Yeah.
I do, though. I do.
Chances with me, with how I live, I would die by misadventure. I'd wreck a motorcycle, get hit by a car, or somebody shoot me.
Yeah, or you would like start a fight and like get shot or something.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Stabbed.
Yeah, fighting and then I get shot. Yeah.
That's why I was kind of worried about it. We were talking about this earlier when we were at the Chinese restaurant. Because he was saying, I could give you like this much more. What was it, testosterone or whatever it is that you're?
Nandrolone.
The nandrolone that you're giving me.
Yeah, I'd probably put a little bit of test in it too, though.
Yeah, and he's just like, I should give you like this much more, but it's like, yeah, but you would probably like turn into a dude, and it's like that would be like a really bad influence, because now like if Tom goes somewhere and is like, I'm gonna tear this motherfucker's head, I'm like, let's not.
She already kind of encourages me sometimes.
That's what I mean, and it's just like, well, and the drunker I get, I'll just be like, yeah, let's fuck this dude up. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like some already kind of like that. Yeah. So I don't need. Yeah. I don't need more of that, because it's like we're both going to jail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like if you come out and just be like, let's fucking kill this dude, I'm like, yeah. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, we don't need it. We don't need to go there.
Beat it, get it in there. She'd be like that. She's already kind of done that. You know what I mean? Some dude will grab her ass and I'll go, wait, you did, and she's like, yeah, get him, get that.
Well, I mean, you have that commentary. Yeah. And honestly, like when we were at Mannequins the other day and those like fucking douchey guys were like getting on my fucking nerves, I was just kind of like, because I was kind of inebriated, so I was just kind of like, I think might fuck these dudes up.
Yeah, she is it. Those dudes would have run through you, though. You were just mad.
Well, I was just mad. But,
you were just mad, yeah.
Well, I mean, they were kind of dumpy.
Yeah. But even an average man can. Okay, well, look at it this way. Green River Killer. What was that name? Fucking asshole's name.
Oh yeah.
His name.
Oh shit! It just went. It was in my head, and then it just went. Whoosh.
The Green River Killer.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Gary Ridgway.
Gary Ridgway.
Yeah, see, I knew it was in there.
Man, I look at Gary Ridgway, man, and he's just a fucking nothing, a zero. All right? I had to run through 5 Gary Ridgways without any fucking effort. All right? He was just a weak man. It's amazing that weak man killed dozens and dozens of women with his bare hands.
Yeah.
You know, so there is a big difference in upper body strength.
Yeah, I know that.
Even with a weak man. For instance, you're bench pressing 40 pounds and getting a decent workout. To me, to get a decent lift, it has to be like 250 pounds.
Right.
My maximum lift is like 330 pounds. It's my maximum one rep max, probably. That's the last I checked, and that was 7-8 months ago. Because you don't really, at my age, you don't want to do 1 rep maxes. You could hurt yourself, and the recovery time you miss you miss training. It's better to just go with something lighter, do multiple repetitions of it. You'll get more out of it. But every now and then I'll try to go every 6 months, 7 months. I'll go in there and test, see what my 1 rep max is. And that last one was probably about 330, I think. And I could have done more, but not much more. But that was good enough. I didn't want to find out what my total max was. You hurt yourself, or you're running.
You might like fucking. Then I'd have to run in there, and you'd be like, I can't move.
Yeah, like my fucking arms.
I broke my body. Bryce says she's a good little girl. What a good little girl Pookie is. So cute how she gets jealous. Yeah, she's she adjusted because she sees that it's not different. Like, she still gets up on the bed and she still gets meat sticks. She still gets the same routine, but it's still, she's always like, what's that other kitty doing? Are you petting that other kitty? I don't like it. Yeah, Lim Lee said the same thing. I also have 2 cats, have to pet at the same time. Yeah. But the 2 cats will not let me pet them at the same time. If you try to do that, they're just like, nope.
They both leave.
Like, well, Bambi doesn't care.
Yeah.
She's just kind of like, yeah, whatever, pet me. Pookie's like, I'm not being involved in this situation.
Yeah, she's like,
I'm going over here. She's always just kind of like, I'm only going to allow it if you're giving all of your attention to me.
Yeah.
Well, which is understandable because, I mean, we raised Pookie
from like that big.
From like she was tiny, a tiny kitten.
She lived in the bed with us.
Yeah.
A little bitty kitten.
So she thinks she's a tiny person.
She thinks
she's our daughter.
Yeah.
Basically.
She thinks she's a baby.
So when this other cat came in, when we got Bambi, she was not a kitten. She was 18 months old, and she'd already had a litter, they told us. So Pookie was just kind of like, what the fuck is going on with this? Who is this kitty? I mean, and we got her because we thought Pookie needed a buddy. But, you know, we didn't want Pookie to get bored.
Pookie had two adult cats when she was a baby living with her. One of them died.
Yeah.
And then the other one, Beige, she's still alive.
Yeah,
Beijing doesn't play with her.
We had a cat named Garbo a long time ago, but he died. He was super old. Yeah. That was years ago. Yeah. Like, Pookie used to jump on him when he was a kitty.
Yeah, she used to beat him up.
Like she was a ride at Disneyland.
He seemed to like it, though. He seemed to like having another cat jump on.
Bryce says she is your daughter. Yeah, we do kind of think of her like that. We do kind of think of that.
She's in your face constantly. If I start working on something, she tries to help me.
Yeah.
I'm putting.
She helps you make the bed.
She's like, what are we doing? What are you doing?
She helps you put the laundry away.
Yeah. I'm doing leather work sometimes, you know, trying to make the part of the Bane costume, and she's putting her face in there. And she's grabbing rivets with her mouth and carrying them places. Bring the rivet back. You know, and I'm trying to stick an awl through the fucking leather, and I'm like, don't poke yourself. And she's trying to smell the end of a sharp object, so don't do it. And she's looking like, what?
Why not?
Yeah, she has to be in the middle of everything.
And seriously, every day when you make the bed, she jumps up on the bed.
It tries to help you make the
bed. And tries to help you make the bed.
It's by running on it.
Yeah.
Or going underneath. She thinks she's helping.
Yeah. She's helping. I do tell her, it's like, you're such a good helper.
Yeah.
And she's not helping at all. She's
now, she'll get on top when you're making the bed. She's get on top and run to every corner. Make sure it's knocking it down. Knocking it down.
She got to make sure. She's supervising.
Yeah. Supervising.
Make sure it's, like, correct.
Yeah.
And I think we have videos of her, like, when you dump, like, laundry on the bed, she just, like, immediately goes and like runs underneath the pile and then sits there. And then when you start taking laundry away, she gets upset. Like, no.
Bryce said that he thought the Green River Garrett Ridgway was a guy who just would kill women kill hookers because he didn't want to pay. No, he wasn't, because he was also a necrophile. He was going back while they were very rotten and having sex with them, and that's just not some dude that didn't want to pay. No.
So he
was a maniac.
Issues.
The cops were doing. He would go. He says, "Yeah, I kept going back, to the same one," and they were like, and they're doing the cops are looking at the dates that he's given, the amount of time, and it was like in the middle of summer, and she's like, "We talking about, man? She'd been out there for like 3 weeks in 90-degree weather. That's fucking rotten, real rotten." And he'd be like, "Yeah, she was pretty bad," and they were like,
"But why?
But why?" And he goes, "But why?" And he goes, "Well, it was free. It was there." But no, that's not what it was. He was into nasty.
Look, so is your hand and
rotten.
Some lotion. That is also kind of free.
He was into how disgusting it was. Had to have been.
Dude was fucking weird.
Ugh.
That's weird. Why didn't he just get a sex doll? Actually, I asked that about a lot of serial killers. It's like, why don't you get a sex doll, or if you don't have that much money, because they are kind of expensive, I admit, but because we've been looking into getting one. But I know. But why don't you get one of the kind of like pocket pussy things?
That's
like
not what he was doing.
I know.
That's not what his thing was. He wanted dead, rotten women. That's what he wanted. So the sex doll wouldn't get. He wanted that to be a real person, and he wanted it to be decomposed over time.
Well, he was a necrophile. Obviously had some.
And he had some
problems.
Kind of.
That's
because he said that he sometimes afterwards. He had all his clothes off. He was doing that. Well, because it stank. He didn't want to ruin his clothes, and then he would go into the water to wash off, because it was always by the edge of the river, and he'd wash off and he'd come back and put his clothes on. From what I remember, yeah, I know he said he washed off. So he knew it stank, but he liked that. That's some weird shit.
Yeah, people.
Because at 3 weeks, man, there'd be all kinds of decomposition, maggots. It was hot in the summer. Decomposition, maggots. You'd have a lot of water and fluid leaking out of the body. It had been black, greasy.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Nasty.
I can't imagine.
Nasty. Eyes probably would have been sockets.
Yeah.
Flies.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a dude who's fucking nuts, man.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking crazy.
That's
not normal sexual attraction.
Well, obviously.
That's
thankfully.
That's the opposite. Ugh.
Tom's getting gross out by it.
Yeah. That's gross.
I'm still remembering the show that we did about the necrophiles, and you like walked out at the end because you couldn't take it. I still get messages about that show.
Yeah.
Of you like walking out at the end, and I just thought that was really funny because I think it's gross too, but it's just kind of like I kind of get amused by how grossed out he gets by things.
Yeah.
Like that kind of amuses me. I get grossed out too, but not as much as he does.
I've been around things that have been dead for a long time.
Yeah,
animals and dead. Being out in the woods.
It is nasty.
And you see a dog that's just fucking been, killed, hit by a train. We were kids would find them behind a school, and they would just be bloated.
Yeah.
And filled with fucking maggots.
Yeah.
Fly larvae, just spilling out, and the smell as a little kid, you'd be gagging.
And can you imagine I couldn't imagine somebody putting your dick in that?
Oh man, what the fuck? Ugh. God.
Tom just lost his boner.
Yeah, there'd be like the dog would be there, and there'd be a wet spot around it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fucking with all the fluids separating and shit, and the fucking. Yeah. We'd have some brave kid with us, and he'd get a big old long pole or a stick and try to turn it over.
There's always one.
Because there's always one guy
that'll do that.
Watch this, turn it over.
I'm gonna poke it. Yeah.
He's trying to turn it over. You know what I mean?
Wow, look at that. Yeah.
Flies
There's always one kid that would do that.
Yeah, we're little boys. You still fucking gagging and throwing up, but looking, just. So maybe he did that as a little kid, and somehow it made a connection. I don't know. Because little boys in America will do that. Run around with a pack of dogs.
Little girls will do that too.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Like, especially if they're in a group, like with other boys.
Yeah, a bunch of boys, yeah.
Because I had brothers.
Yeah.
So it's like that's kind of a similar thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're grossed out, but it's like you're still kind of fascinated.
You gotta turn it over.
And I think that's a pretty universal, like when you're a kid.
Yeah.
But it's gross.
Yeah.
But you're still kind of like fascinated, because kids are fascinated by gross shit. Mm-hmm. But like you usually grow out of that.
Yeah,
but some people do not, I guess. They just kind of stay in that phase.
My curiosity got satisfied by the time I was probably about 8.
It's like, yep, that's gross as shit.
We found the buckets. Okay.
Did you ever tell me this story?
I don't know.
I don't remember the bucket story.
We found these. Okay.
Oh, maybe you did. Okay, you got to tell me again, though. I don't remember.
This was behind Dominguez Elementary School.
Oh, I remember. Okay, you did tell me this.
There was a fucking railroad track there. That railroad track, this is in California. There's a railroad track would go to the wildlife preserve. And the wildlife preserve was near all those damn LA River drainage things you see in the movie, the big concrete rivers with the little river in the middle. These are where they filmed Grease, where they did the car race. Grease.
The drag
race.
It's
where in the 1950s they fought the giant ants in the movie Them.
Yep.
So that was down
iconic.
there. Yeah, or in Terminator 2, where the Terminators jumps the motorcycle and they're doing the truck chase down in there and wreck the truck. That's all in the flood control system. That's what it's called. But that would go to the wildlife preserve. Well, we were down the wildlife preserve, and on the way back, we were going up the railroad tracks. The railroad tracks is where we would find dead dogs and shit, but they weren't there all the time. But when we did find one, we got another one, I don't know how.
At least you never found a person, like in fucking...
No.
Like in that Stephen King story.
This is how children think. We were afraid of finding bums, but we never did. We thought we were going to find some homeless bums.
Right.
We're on our way, and we were behind our school, going behind Dominguez Elementary School, following the railroad tracks. And in the direction we were going, off to the left, on the right was the school, on the left was a big empty field. The field used to be strawberry fields. Japanese farmers from Japan lived in this area at one time.
Japanese are from Japan, generally.
Yeah, but they weren't Americans, though. Some of them were Americans. I got a story about that. Chris Toy was a friend of mine. I grew up with her. Her dad was a Japanese cowboy. He had a stable with horses in it in this area, within walking distance of where I'm talking about. And he married an American blonde chick, and Christina was born, and she was what you call Hapa. She was half Japanese and half Caucasian. She was pretty. She won this big beauty pageant at my military academy because they were asking around all the schools, who knows any girl that wants to go to a beauty pageant? And I thought of Christina. So I volunteered her, and she wanted to go. So she's in my yearbook if I can find it. Christina's in there. She won, matter of fact. Anyway, near where her dad's stables were. Okay, now this strawberry field, an ex-Japanese strawberry field, got purchased by a development company, and they were going to put in like warehouse type stuff in there, or in that area, so you could walk through it because it was under development. That development ended up being where Jesse James' motorcycle chopper shop ended up being in there. Now, you know, what do they call it?
Yeah.
That wasn't West Coast Choppers, was it?
What the fuck was the name of that? Yeah.
It was in that. That's where his chopper shop was going to be. They had a whole television program there. Well, they were just starting to pave that area with roads going through it. A bunch of them. Like access roads to where these little warehouse things, little garages you'd be able to rent. And we saw on one of those roads a big fucking stack of those 5-gallon buckets. You know those 5-gallon buckets for like food service? Mm-hmm. They had the lids on it. There must have been 20 of them in a big old fucking pot, stacked up on the end of one of those roads. So we're like, look at those buckets. What is that? So, of course, there's 5 of us.
Let's go look. I'd be like, nothing good is going to come of that.
So we're looking at the buckets. And Mike was with us. Mike was a little bit older than us. I think he might have been 9, maybe 10. And he grabs a bucket off and it's sloshing. And he's going, it's got something, got some kind of water in it. So we're trying to figure out how to take the lid off. And I don't remember how we did it. We're pulling and pulling and pulling. It was kind of sealed, you know.
You got to pry him off.
What's that?
You got to pry him off, I think.
Yeah, I think we ended up prying it off. And we were working on it, and all of a sudden the lid came loose, and the shit went flying. The shit fucking turned over, and inside of it was a plastic bag, and this fucking smell hit me like crazy. And as it was turning over, the plastic bag kind of fucking opened, and this fucking white sludge came out, and I started fucking, it got on me, and I was fucking gagging and throwing up. It stank. It was the worst smell I'd ever fucking smelled. And I could hear everybody else go, oh.
What have we done?
Yeah, oh. And I heard Jimmy North. He ended up being a chip, a California Highway Patrol. They had a whole, chips. He was one of those. And then he got older. Which is a special kind of, it was kind of a California elite policeman. All the girls liked him. You had to be good looking back in the day to be a chip.
Like
officer.
Ponch and John.
Yeah, they were like sex
from the
symbols.
TV show.
Yeah, kind of like California State Highway Patrol guys. They rode around on motorcycles and cars. This is Jimmy was about 8, and he's going, it's fish, fucking, and I was and what it was buckets and buckets of fish heads and fish guts, where somebody somewhere had dressed a whole bunch of fish and just gotten the meat out,
right?
And they were throwing away all the
well,
heads.
You
got to
put them somewhere.
They illegally dumped it there,
right.
Just left it.
That's
and
gross.
I got some of that shit on me, and man, I was gagging all fucking day. And came home, and mother's like, "What is that fucking smell?"
Yeah, that smell is probably like up in your nose,
worst,
like you can't get rid of it.
Rotten liquefied fish.
Smell like that, you can't.
Yeah,
get rid of it.
And fucking, I think she had to throw those pants away.
Yeah.
I was probably wearing Tough Skins. Remember them Tough Skins?
Yeah, I remember those.
From fucking Sears.
Yeah, from Sears.
Yeah, they were like jeans.
My brother
man.
had those. Yeah.
They were like jeans with fucking knee pads. The knees were so fucking reinforced on those things. It was like wooden boards.
Yeah.
And they were like red jeans.
Yep.
Red and green and shit.
I remember those.
Yeah, it's probably what it was.
I didn't have any, I don't think, but
yeah,
my brother,
you walk
my brothers
they were like
did.
stiff as fuck. Those fucking pants. So.
Well, because moms were probably like sick of like having to buy jeans, and like your children would like run around and wear them out, and they tear them and like fuck them up and shit like that. They're like, here, just wear these.
Because you were on your knees playing.
God damn it!
Fucking,
yeah. They're tired of spending money.
Tired of spending money on your ass.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah,
I get it.
So after that was the end of Dead Stuff. That was a traumatizing fucking experience.
I can see that.
I avoided anything that was dead.
Yeah, you're like, yep, I've learned my lesson.
Because I got some on.
I've learned my lesson.
Rotten fish.
Well, like I said,
juice.
I kind of feel like the reason that humans have a response like that to that smell is because nature says
it's toxic.
Stay away from that.
Yeah, it's very toxic.
So the fact that you're just kind of like, hey, let's look at, I'm just like, yeah, let's not.
Yeah.
Let's not. You know.
Yeah, it was like the summertime in California, so all those fish guts had been in this sealed up in those plastic
I can imagine.
containers probably for
I can imagine.
weeks, and then they dumped them off there in the middle of the night because they couldn't figure out where to get rid of them, and we stumbled upon them. It had been weeks old. It was just fucking.
Although
you didn't even look like fish until the other guys were kind of like looking at that soup, and you could see like the cartilage heads. You know, the heads. And they were like clear. I remember them looking clear, like clear cartilage-looking heads. There weren't even any eyes in it.
Fish.
And it was just like white.
Fish
It was like
heads.
white soup.
Roly-poly.
That's how rotten it was.
Well, in the bucket's defense, you guys did not have to open them.
No.
So that's on you.
No.
Just saying.
Well, Ken's got to know
well,
what's in that bucket.
I really didn't have to know. I'm just like, you know what? It's probably going to be something bad, so I'm just going to like leave it. Danny Rowling said, talking about Gary Ridgway, his wife wouldn't put out as much as he'd like. I guess that's what he said. And he said he was a nympho.
Yeah.
And then also Danny Rowling said, in Japan, wives are okay with the husbands seeing hookers. Yeah. Are they? I kind of feel like maybe they aren't all, but maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's a cultural thing.
Yeah. Well, it's my understanding is that those guys go to those hostess clubs and they work these long hours, And probably at that time, the relationship's probably kind of broken down. She never sees that dude anyway. So I think they're kind of...
Yeah, I mean, I could see that.
I don't think they're...
Then
they kind of get resentful of that dude, and he's more like a roommate now. And evidently, this is maybe old school. I remember from the studies that this is at least in the 90s or so, that those dudes had no home skills. They couldn't even cook. They didn't have any. They couldn't clean. They couldn't help in the apartment or the house, really. All they did they were just office guys, you know. So when those dudes retired, those women tried to get rid of them because all they did was just sit around in the apartment. They didn't get anything done.
It's like you guys are just like in my
useless.
way.
Yeah, they were just useless
right.
once they were retired.
You're just messing stuff up that I have to clean up after you.
Now, it wasn't from the data that I remember reading, and this might still be going on today. It wasn't just that the dudes were hanging out with those. They weren't hookers in the way that you would think it in America. They were kind of like up in Korea. When I was up there, I wouldn't really. They're like more like hostess clubs. That's where I was going. It was more kind of like a hostess, the Korean version of a hostess club. It's like a nightclub with a bunch of apartments out in the back, and those girls would grab you and take you to that damn apartment
and take your money.
Take your money, but yeah, you were happy though.
You're like, all right.
I got picked. She picked me.
Yeah, he was telling me about that, dude. I think you talked about that a little bit on the show, but like you told me about it.
Well,
like
they were
a
in
lot.
high demand. You know what I mean?
Right.
We outnumbered them a lot. Just because you went in there didn't mean anything had happened for you. You know. Now there were other places where it was like a sure thing. It was more like a brothel. You know. But my understanding is not only those dudes doing that, like hostess club stuff, that the wives are having affairs.
Well, I would hope so.
Because they don't see the dude.
Because there's like, where is
Yeah, and there's evidently kind of some resentment. Well, he's off with these hostesses.
Right.
You know, when he's not working, he's not here. He's out with those hostesses.
Right. So I'm gonna go.
So
like,
I'm gonna
fucking...
go fuck this dude.
Right. Well, you can't really.
Fuck Mr.
I mean,
Abe,
you can't.
or whatever.
You can't blame him.
Yeah.
You know. Hey.
Go down to Roppongi and fucking fuck some foreign guy.
That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like we were talking about this because you were talking about the, because you know when we did the show about, Yu Young Chul, the Korean serial killer. So we talked a lot about Korea, and we were kind of talking about it a little bit after the show too, and because you know Tom was in the army and he was stationed in Korea for a while, and you know and when he was younger, he was much younger and single, and he just kind of like availed himself of the services available. Let's call it that.
Everybody else was.
Right. So like that's what everyone was
just
doing.
Part of the culture.
So we were talking about it. So I was just kind of like, I don't know. Like I said, obviously, there's a spectrum. I kind of feel like it would be like, okay, from my point of view, it would be less upsetting if your spouse or whatever fucked around with a hooker rather than like a person that they knew. You know what I mean?
Because
like
there's no relationship.
Right. But I'd still be upset.
Yeah.
But I'd be slightly less upset if it was I'd still be upset. I'm not saying that. But I'd be slightly less upset.
Yeah.
But I would still be upset in the sense that I'm like, yeah, no. You know what I mean? But it's not exactly the same.
You're not supposed to be doing shit behind your wife's back.
I mean, yeah. Really, I mean, that
you really
seems...
shouldn't be doing it behind your girlfriend's back. But even your wife's back, you don't do it.
That's why, and that seems kind of easy, but I guess like a lot of people like don't really...
Well, some dudes are married and they get sick of the girlfriend, but they get sick of the wife.
I get it, but if you do, then just say that. Like I said, I kind of feel like the whole problem is that, look, if you are with somebody and you're like, hey, I'm not really feeling it anymore, so just break up with that person. Like, don't, like, go around behind their back and do shit. That's fucked up.
Listen what Miss Lee says.
Don't get caught by your wife and go to the place.
Yeah. Right, you know, Well, okay, when I was there, all the guys that would go with me, we were all single. And we were all in our 20s, early to mid-20s, which is about the same age as the women that worked in there.
Right.
And now some of them were older, but still cute. And they had them in there, some of them in their 40s. Ran into one who was like 40-something. But you really couldn't tell. They just, she looked like she was still 20-something. Didn't matter. She was cool, too. I only went... Tom
hit it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I was fucking, what, 21? 21 and single, man. Yeah, 21 and single, and coming off of the DMZ, it was just hard work and military bullshit 24/7 for fucking the whole month. You get 1 day off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're going to cut loose.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
You need some female companionship, man. Even if it's only for just a little fucking few minutes.
Yeah. Well, it's just,
yeah,
you know.
they can put some of that female magic on you.
Is that what we have?
It's magic, man. Yeah, oh yeah. It
Is it?
becomes precious when you're not getting it. You're in an all male situation 24/7.
Girls are magic.
Oh, it's magic. I mean, that's why I talk about it so much. That's why I do what I do. I value it.
You do, to be fair.
I value it, yeah.
You do, to be fair.
No, I think women are great. Yeah. Now, not all of them, but the good ones, you know what I mean? Good ones are.
Tom actually does like to hang out with me.
Yeah.
God knows why.
I like Jenny was my best friend for fucking 13 years.
Yeah.
You know? I hadn't been married to her for a few months. But
Yeah.
we were married anyway.
I mean, we acted like we
Yeah.
were married pretty much all that time. Yeah, we've been together a long time. Long time.
No, I liked women. They just, and you know, all of them had kind of like something to offer, if they were within the age range that was, that appealed to me. You know, some of them might just have a terrible personality, but she looks great. You at least give her credit. She looks good though. She looks good. Yeah, she's a bitch, man. I can't stand that bitch. But she's got a fucking beautiful ass.
It's like
she knows it too.
Might hit it one time.
Yeah, she's like, I would hit it, but I don't want her to know that I'm hitting. I'm gonna hit it spiritually because I don't like it. I don't really like her, but she's got a fucking great ass. You know, that's just the way the mans think. Every man in there knows what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Well, like I said,
You don't want a woman you don't like to have any kind of power with you. So you got to keep that element to yourself. Like, I can't fucking stand you, man. You're fucking shit. You got a great ass, though. But you just think that to yourself.
don't tell her that because then it's going to be a whole.
She's got power.
It's going to hold. Yeah,
Right,
it's going to be a whole thing. I get it.
Some women just have great personalities, and they're not gorgeous, but they got a cute figure. You know what I mean? And they're enough. Men are very. That's the one thing that makes men different than women. Men are very open-minded when it comes to, you know what I mean. They'll accept a woman that they like. She doesn't have to be the top woman. They just have to like her.
Well, women will do that too.
Yeah, kind of.
Women will do that too.
But you have to meet their criteria.
Sure, but like everyone's different. Like I said, everyone's got different
Men
standards.
kind of don't really have much of a criteria, though. Like, she doesn't really have to have any money. You know, she doesn't really have to have much status. She just has to be cute. You have to like her.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have a good time with her. That's, you know, and
well, now chicks will do that too. They'll just like hit
Yeah.
like poor ass dudes that are like that look good.
that's kind of temporary, though.
But yeah, they're not gonna hang around
They're
with
not
that
gonna
dude
hang
because there's like, oh my god, this dude's gonna like fucking drain me dry.
Yeah,
You know.
a dude will take a girl who's poor and not all that good looking, but he likes her. He'll take her and fix her up and take care of her, you know, because he feels like he's needed.
It's like a Pygmalion situation.
Yeah. Now, if she's gorgeous and fucking 6 feet tall and makes a shit ton of money and stuff, guys aren't even going to try with that. They're like, what would she want with me? That's why those girls have such a hard time.
She didn't
meeting
need your
guys.
ass. She didn't need your
Yeah.
ass. That's why.
Yeah. Like in the male escort game, there's a misconception that those dudes have sex with old women. Like, they have some escorts that they just deal with men. But there are other male escorts that are elite male escorts. Almost always they're jacked, and they look kind of model looking guys. And they only work with women. But what's funny is that it's always young women that hire them. Young women that are professionals, that make a lot of money. They can't get dates because the men of their level are going out with the girl from Starbucks, the cute girl at Starbucks. They don't want a rich woman, because why? They have so many offers from really cute poor girls to choose from that they have more fun with those. So a lot of successful, but this is also holds true in Japan. They have host clubs. They got some player ass Japanese guys, you know. They look like something from a K-pop band. And those girls in there are spending big money on those guys. And some of them are business owners. make a shit ton of money, and they're just they make so much money that they're out of the dating market. Japanese guys don't want them. And another thing that elite male escorts, not only rich professional girls, it's other female prostitutes. They'll hire a male prostitute on a day off. You would think that, well, shit, don't they get sick of fucking all these dudes? No, if you listen to interviews, like Ayala is a good one that does a lot of good. She does a lot of good interviews. She says the sex with those dudes is vanilla as shit and real boring. They're nice guys, but they're older guys that she chicks through. She doesn't really have much in common with them, and it's not, for her, it's not real satisfying sex. It's just a job. Well, a lot of those female escorts of that level, they have money. They can't have boyfriends, a lot of them, or they lost their boyfriend or husband because of the business. So on a day off, they'll hire an escort.
Yeah, I get it. And I don't think I would ever do that, but
you're not a hooker.
I get it.
You're not a hooker.
Yeah, I know.
And you're not lonely.
No, I'm not.
So they're lonely.
But I mean, even if I was, I don't think I'd ever get that lonely.
Yeah. Well, another thing is that you're also in your 50s. You're mature and well developed. The escorts that are hiring these guys are in their 20s.
Yeah.
20s and 30s.
They kind of feel like, oh my god, I have to.
I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have a relationship, and they shouldn't.
I'm kind of past that stage.
And a lot of times they have a relationship with an elite male escort who's a regular with them. Like they have just that one, because he listens to all her problems and he's friends with her, and he's got a couple female escorts. He doesn't talk to her about that though. You know what I mean? But he might be seeing a couple of them on a regular basis. And so she's getting his hooker money. Isn't that funny? At like $1,500 a day.
Hey, you can spend your money however you want. Mm-hmm. Bryce says, totally off topic, but I'm going to say it. James McAvoy is hot. I agree. Especially as the beast villain in Split. The guy that was in Split. Like that was a great character. I was always kind of like into James. Yeah, he's actually like, there's something kind of sexy about him.
Yeah, everybody's agreeing. We say, hell yeah, girls are magic.
Also, yeah. Bryce also said, wives need to know and consent to it, otherwise it's scummy. Talking about going to hookers and stuff. Yeah, it's different. Like I said, it's different if everybody knows what's involved. Like I said, as long as no one is doing anything behind anyone's back...
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Then I don't have a problem with it. Like if you are in an open relationship with your spouse or whatever, and it's just like, yeah, you can go fuck whoever you want, and you can fuck whoever you want, and like you know that it's going on, then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
We know people that do that.
Yeah, and we know people that do that. And like I said, it doesn't bother me. I'm not upset about it or nothing like that. The only problem I have is deception. I don't like deception. That's all. And I think like most people are probably the same.
I know one married couple where it's out of control. I mean, they do things with other couples, single people, and then the guy leaves with the woman and does shit for fucking sometimes, all night and leaves his wife at home. I would never do that in a situation like that, but because since she's like left out, you know what I mean? So that's I don't think that's very cool. And then I know another, but she doesn't seem to care.
That's what I mean. If that's what they're... Because, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
But if that's what the agreement they've come to, then okay.
And then another...
Like, I wouldn't do that, but other people are not me. So
another couple I know is... They've been together a long time, about 15 years. And the wife, she's hot. You know who this is. She has relationships with girls and women. And he knows, but he's not involved in it. And they'll go on trips. They'll go to fucking Japan together, the two girls. And he just stays at home. Yeah, they're out doing their things. He doesn't really mind.
Yeah.
Now she deserves it. She's been a good wife. That kind of deal. Yeah.
Like I said, as long as everyone's on the same page.
Right. Now, evidently...
Then whatever. I'm not bothered.
Now, evidently... Guys aren't allowed. That's not on the menu, evidently. But she doesn't care if
that's the thing. And I think that in a lot of ways, some couples that are kind of like polyamorous or something like that, like I said, I'm not hugely into that. Like I said, it's all kind of like situational, I guess.
Yeah.
Because, we might get into that. Because we have gotten into that, just situationally. But it's kind of like, I sort of feel like if you're gonna do that, in some ways it's better because you have to be like super open with communication, and maybe you have to be like more open with communication than a normal quote unquote couple would be if you're not doing that. Because I kind of feel like the normal thing is to, hey, I'm kind of sick of my wife, but I'm not going to tell her that. I'm just going to go have an affair.
Yeah, well,
without telling her.
Here's the difference.
But it's like if you had just like opened up to her and said, "Hey, I'm kind of not feeling this" or whatever, it's like she might have been like, "Oh, let's bring in a third person," or you can go. Well, you know what I mean. And I'm just saying that
those are normies, most of them people.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We come from a subculture. The God subculture is a lot.
It's a lot more open.
It's a lot more different about that
sexually.
Kind of stuff. Yeah,
I feel like.
And a lot of times, this is happening between married couples in the scene. Or it's a married couple with a girl that they know from the scene. Or so because they're in this club scene and in this subculture together, it's not like this is happening with an outsider. So it's not like it's a random
like everybody
person.
Knows this person.
They're like, oh yeah, she's famous. You know what I mean? It's that kind of shit.
Like we know that
great.
girl. Oh yeah.
So it's very different. It's kind of like the same thing that probably like in back in the old days, rock stars lived that way. Actors and actresses lived like that. They all knew each other, so they did weird shit. Yeah,
but like I said, I'm much more an advocate of, even if it's shit that I wouldn't personally do. If everyone's on the same page, everyone knows what's going on. Yeah. Nobody is being lied to or fucked over. Then whatever.
And in our subculture, there's a lot less need to lie because the people are...
Well, everyone's going to find out.
Yeah, anyway. You can't really lie. But the people are a little...
Scene's not that big.
Yeah, everybody tends to be friends, so...
Somebody's going to find out about your shit.
Yeah, and...
Eventually. Everyone's going to know. So...
But, you know, another thing is just the sexual orientation of the scene is very alternative.
Well, everyone's just kind of like... whatever.
Yeah, they're not as strict.
I kind of feel like that's the sexual orientation of the goth scene is whatever.
Yeah. When it used to be back in the 90s, the sexual orientation was BDSM.
There's a lot of that still. But I'm just kind of like now, like nobody worries about it.
Right.
They're just kind of like, hey, I like you, you like me. It doesn't matter. Like what?
It's not hippie though. It's more like fetish.
Yeah.
It still is kind of fetish. You know, threesomes and weird things between couples. There's a fetish element to it, or flavor to it. It's not really like a hippie flavor. Well, sometimes it is.
Yeah, there's some of that too.
Some of that, but so it's not really like free love per se. There's a lot of rules and shit, and it's mind games. Yeah. But they're into that. Yeah.
Because I mean, free love is great, like as an idea, but I don't.
Low standard.
It doesn't work out in practice. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But the nice thing about the scene that we're in is that everybody knows everybody or knows somebody that knows that person.
And everything's to choice, really. And nobody's really pigeonholed. So you're not expected to do anything. You do whatever you want.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, like me and Jen, basically, we're very traditional in general.
Comparatively.
Compared to them other people, we're traditional. Yeah.
Like, we've done threesomes and shit, but it's just, like, nothing like some of the other people. And, like, nobody, like, thinks of it as a big deal. Yeah. Nobody, like, is all upset about it. Everybody's just kind of like...
her, yeah.
Oh,
good. Yeah, her, yeah. You know, that's all it is.
But the thing is, though, and another thing that's kind of good about it is that if somebody does something fucked up, everybody knows about it. Like, immediately. Because that shit will get around in seconds.
Look at what Miss Lee says.
Wait a minute. Well, Bryce said a long time ago.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of guys that care about a girl's body count?
There's something to be said for it. It depends on... He's talking about how many women... If you don't know, if you guys don't know what he's talking about, some guys fixate a lot on how many men
it's a little bit of a double standard, I would argue.
It depends. It depends on who's asking this.
That's true.
Okay. It also depends on what kind of relationship are you looking for with this girl. Are you trying to marry her, or you just want to date her, or you just want to sleep with her? If you just want to sleep with her or date her, then the body count shouldn't matter. If you're going to marry her, it might, if it's an extreme number. Because there's a tendency to where if a woman has gone through a lot of guys from an early age, she has a problem connecting with dudes. It's all, especially if she's kind of
well, and I think that's true of dudes as well.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
and I think women also like look askance at dudes that have a really high body
right,
count.
because chances are
for the same reason.
Because he's going to keep doing what he's doing.
Well, yeah, that too. Like, one, he can't commit, or he's just going to keep banging random chicks, and I can't trust him, or something. So it's kind of the same both ways.
So in some ways, that is kind of the same thing with women. Now, there's always exceptions to it. Like, what happens if you run into some girl, you like her, it turns out she got forced into prostitution or something. Okay? That's going to be extremely high body count. But she was forced into it.
But that's not her fault.
Not really her first. So what do you do with a situation like that? That might be a good woman.
Yeah, I wouldn't be bothered by that. Like I said, if anything you were forced into doing is not
messed up. You don't know. It's
she probably is.
Probably is.
If she's a normal person.
It's going to be on a case by case basis. But a woman with a low body count could have a lot of problems too. What if she's only been with a couple guys, but then she got gang raped or something like that by 3 or 4 violently? She's going to carry a lot of baggage for a while before she can get over that. So it's going to depend. Then you're going to like, well, should I get in a relationship with this? I don't know. You know what I mean? Because
everyone's situation is different. Yeah, is what we're saying.
Right. So I don't know.
Like, I mean, your body count, if you want to call it that, is significantly higher than mine.
Me? Yeah.
Than mine.
Yeah.
Mine, I feel like, is probably. I mean, it's not probably. It's definitely below average.
Jen was married a lot during her
I was married a long time.
Yeah.
I got married in my early 20s.
Yeah.
And I was married for 14 years.
Yeah.
And I didn't cheat on him.
Right.
So I really only racked up a body count like after the divorce.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I was there for it. I was with.
Right. So it wasn't that many
friends,
people.
Yeah.
It wasn't that many people. Like, it was some, but it wasn't that many people.
I knew who the dudes were. So
yeah,
I wasn't worried about it. They were all good guys.
He knew them.
They were good guys except for one.
Yeah.
Except for one.
Yeah, I know.
And I saw you kick him to the curb. Like, yeah, fuck you, get out of here. They never saw that dude again.
Right. Yeah.
So I never really gave a shit about Jen's body count. No.
But like I said, it's pretty low.
No. Yeah.
Mine's pretty low.
Yeah, I knew it was, but it still wouldn't have mattered.
I said, I was trying.
She could have had 3 times that, and it still would have been fine. It just cannot be unusually high. That's the problem.
Because the thing about it is, like,
unusually bad.
Like my age.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be weird if it was 3 times as high as it is.
It wouldn't. Right.
Because it's like over the years, like, shit happens. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
another thing.
Well, and that's why I'm not bothered by yours, because like you were single almost all of that time.
Yeah.
Like, you were married, what, 2 years, 3 years, something like that.
About 2.
But other than that, you were saying, like, you had girlfriends here and there.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like, most of that time you were single, so it's like, obviously.
Yeah, I wasn't cheating on anybody. I wasn't breaking any rules.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's like, that's why I didn't think it was like all that strange.
We're going to have to leave in a bit in time.
Yeah, I know.
But what I was going to say is about count. Once a body count really only matters to when you're dealing with young women and a young guy and he's trying to get married kind of early. That might matter. Outside that situation is not as critical. Doesn't really matter. Body count doesn't matter to a 40 plus guy.
Yeah.
Because your expectations are not the same.
Right.
You know? And maybe you've already been married and had kids. You're not looking for another family. So you're not looking for the same kind of woman.
Right.
Your expectations are not the same. You might be just looking for a companion that's fun. And you can trust her. Well, you might you could probably trust a woman like that.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't. If she's all about you, look, man, I know a guy in the porn industry. You know, Amy. What's her name?
Amy Quinn.
Amy Quinn's her porn name. I know her husband. She does all kinds of wild shit on film. She's solid. You know.
Yeah.
She's solid.
Well, it's just a job to her.
Yeah, she's not cheating on him. She's real loyal to him. And then she'll do a gangbang on film, and he's filming it and shit. Fucking.
Yeah. Well, like I said, they're not doing anything behind each other's backs.
Yeah, they're not behind anything back, and
they know what's going on.
She doesn't take that seriously. He doesn't take that seriously.
Like I said, it's just a job.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, I get that.
Right.
And that's the thing. It's just kind of like, I don't know. I just never been bothered by, because I know that, you're a solid person. You wouldn't fuck me over. I wouldn't fuck you over.
If I was going to fuck you over, I would have done it already.
That's what I mean. Like, we've been together for so long, and you never fucked me over in all that time. I'm like, well, if you were going to do it, you would have done it by now. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I told you before, it's like, I was married for 14 years. I never cheated on that dude. Yeah. Ever. Yeah. He thought I did.
This is what Mrs. Lee's story.
But I
didn't.
She
says this. I know this guy before he married, now he married. He and his wife are sexless. So she gives him money to,
go to the fucking
go to the fucking hookers, okay? Then she goes, he sometime called me. All the I kind of
listen for him to complain about it.
Listen for him to complain about it.
Okay.
Yeah. He doesn't want to call the escort or something. He usually call me to have a beer or two, and listen to listen to his bullshit. It's because he loves you.
Oh yeah.
How old are you, Miss Lee? You our age? She must be 40s, 50s maybe.
I would think.
Yeah. Yeah. He wants a real affair. He wants a real. He wants a good woman. A woman to have an affair with. A friend that understands have an understanding. That's what he's trying to do.
Ian England said, I'd say pick your lifestyle. If you're worried about a girl's body count, maybe you should look at where you're looking for girls at. Yeah, that's another thing.
You'd be surprised.
But like I said, you have to...
going to church, man, they were hoes.
Well, yeah, but you have to consider... I don't know. I would always consider everyone's like specific situation. Yeah. I'm not really all that worried about like the number about it. Like I said, mine is, low. I'm going to say like probably, I don't know if it's well below average, but it's below average for sure. Yours is probably like average to high average, I would imagine. I don't know.
I never even tallied them up.
I don't even think I know what your number is, but just from what I know about you.
I don't know what my number is.
But like I said, you're in your 50s.
Yeah.
And you were single for a large portion of that time.
Yeah, and I count sex. I count a number. Okay, just if we came. So it may not have.
Well, yeah.
If we had a sexual encounter, it didn't necessarily mean that
still counts.
It was
well, like I said, I think we talked about that earlier. Yeah. Because I think I said what my body count was, and then you said, "Oh, that counts too." I said, "Oh, well, then it's higher."
Yeah.
Oh, well, then it's higher.
No, any kind of sexual contact, I count.
Okay.
If you go anal on some chick, that counts.
Well, I mean, obviously that counts.
If you're getting or giving head and it's fucking completed, that counts. Fucking all that shit counted.
We were just talking about this before the show.
Yeah.
Because here's something funny that happened at Barbarella, the club that we're going to go to.
Yeah, Miss Lee's 40.
Okay, we have a youngster. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're like about a decade or a decade and a half older than
14 years older than you. Yeah.
But we had a thing. We probably brought this up on the show before.
Yeah.
But we were at Barbarella. This was probably like a year ago. And we have a friend. I'm not going to say what his name is. We have a friend who's our age, but he looks a lot older. And he has a fiance. Did they get married?
No, they're married. He's married.
Okay, so he has a wife, but she's apparently like she doesn't want to go out. She's fine with him buying escorts.
Yeah.
So he buys escorts.
You don't buy them, you rent them.
You're right. Well,
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
And takes them out to the club.
Yeah.
And so one time he comes to the bar with this girl who is trans.
Yeah.
And she was like super cute. I was trying to remember what her name was because we talked to her for a while. He
sent me a photo of her.
Yeah. We talked like not like you're saying
was it
like
Rachel?
just no, that wasn't it. God damn it! What was her fucking name? She told me what her name was.
She passed for a while. I didn't. It took me a few minutes.
I talked to her for a long time.
It took me a few minutes. And
she seemed a little bit like a nut, but she seemed nice though.
It took me a few minutes talking to her. I was like, that's not a biological female.
So she seemed way more into Tom and me than she did the person that had hired her for the evening.
Yeah.
So I'm like at the bar getting another drink or something like that, and Tom comes running up to me at the bar.
No, don't fuck. Okay.
And said,
all right.
Oh, you don't want me to say?
No.
You don't want me to say what happened?
No, don't talk about that.
Okay.
Fucking, yeah, okay, I'm a fucking, she made a move on me, and fucking.
Yeah, in the
men's room. And she said, if I wasn't working right now, fucking, I'd be going home with you guys kind of deal, you know what I mean? So I'm just kind of smoothing it over, you know what I mean? What was her name?
God, we were trying to remember, like, before because we were just talking about it before the show, and like, I can't remember her goddamn name.
Yeah, I went in the men's room. She went in there after me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was trying to
She's trying to blow me.
Come home. Yeah.
She's trying to blow me.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. and
In the bedroom.
You're cute and all, but you know what I mean.
But
no, and what was her shit?
God damn it!
So I went. I said, so I fucking called him the next day and I says, how the fuck did you? Where the fuck did you meet? He's going.
Because I mean, fair play to Tom. He immediately told me, like, he ran out the bathroom and like I was at the bar and like told me, oh my god, like this just happened.
Yeah.
So it's like he did tell me like.
He sent me a photograph of her.
All right, I gotta pee.
All right, let me see if I can find that photograph. It's either in this phone or the other phone. It took me a while to realize that that wasn't a biological female. If I show you the picture, you'd think it was a biological female. Let me see. But she was an escort. And I was kind of surprised because my boy I didn't know that he liked trans girls, but I was like, "What's up with that?" And he goes, "Oh no, I just liked her, you know." So I asked her to come with me, and I said, "Is that a regular thing, you and trans girls?" And he's like, "No." He goes, "When I first saw her photograph, I didn't know she was trans." And I says, "What kind of trans? What photograph was it?" He sent me the photograph. He got her off of fucking a app called What's Your Price, which is a dating application where you can meet someone who wants to date and they will tell you how much it's going to cost you to go on a date with them. They're not real escorts though. They're women that are very desperate. A lot of times they're in some kind of desperate financial price, and there's no sex is not guaranteed or anything. It's just the only thing that's guaranteed is that they will go on a date with you. And the dudes that we're talking about, he's a business owner. He's got a lot of money. He owns a bar. I don't have a picture of her on this phone. Let me go look at the other phone and see if I got her.
Where'd he go? Did you just leave?
I had to go get the other.
Oh, okay. I came back in and I'm like,
No,
where'd he go?
Telling the story of where he got her and fucking.
Oh, right.
Okay. He sent me the photograph that she was.
She was cute. She seemed a little crazy though.
Yeah.
She was trying to like recruit me into a witch cult.
I think she was just trying to be cool.
I think so too. But she seemed nice. But she seemed like she was kind of trying.
I fucking store all this fucking kind of shit in case I ever have to fucking tell the story.
He has like photos of everybody.
I have photos going back fucking decades.
Which I don't even know where.
Got her.
See, you still have.
Got her.
That's right. Yeah. I remember.
That was her.
He only brought her one time.
Yeah.
Like I said, she seemed nice, but she seemed like a little bit crazy.
Yeah. And
a little bit.
There's not a biological female.
She wanted, like I said,
look just like that in person.
She seemed
just
to.
Like that.
She seemed to like want to hang with us.
Yeah, she wanted to hang out. She wanted to go home with us.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
She was all about it.
What was her name?
All about it. God, I can't remember. It's like weird. Before the show, I was like, for some reason, I want to say Shelly, but it wasn't that. It wasn't that.
No.
There's Pokey.
What's up, Pokey Pants?
You want to be on the show for a second?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see you. Lynn Lee's still here. She wants to see you.
Here. She wants to see the Pokey Pants.
There's Pokey.
Your name is Miss Pokey Pants Ross. That's right. Your middle name is Pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miss Pokey Pants.
Yeah.
She's We're gonna have to go though.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. We got holy shit.
What is their reaction to? But no, that was a high end trans girl.
Well, yeah,
What
like
was
I said,
her
she
name,
was.
though?
I can't remember, but it was so funny because it was just funny that you came out like after at the bar and you were like, "Oh my god, she like tried to suck my dick in the bathroom."
Yeah.
And I was just like, "What?"
Yeah. Yeah.
She got a little overzealous.
Yeah,
Let's
she
put it
pushed me
like.
up against the wall and shit and started fucking unbuckling and getting on her knees. Whoa, hold on.
What? Hey, what's going on?
She's going, if I wasn't working, fucking, I'm going home with both of y'all. You guys are so fucking hot. I was going, no. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? No, girl. Come on up here. Fucking, fucking, Jen's right out there, man. Fucking, you know what I mean? You can't fucking do this shit. What's my girlfriend going to say? Oh, no, she's going to be all about it. Fucking, this and that. Fucking, I'm going to do her, too. Fucking,
Yeah, she really wanted to.
Yeah,
she wanted a piece. She wanted a piece of both of them.
Yeah, she wanted to get in the middle of a Tom and Jenny sandwich.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We get that a lot. I'm not really sure why that is, but
What do they say and what's the reaction?
Oh, everybody sounded like Pookie. Yeah, Heidi Core said she is beautiful, but definitely get the crazy eye vibe. Yeah. I don't know if she was as crazy as she was. I think she was just trying to like blend in and like trying to be like, ooh, I'm in this Wiccan cult and all like Satanism and all this kind of stuff. And I'm just like, okay, but it was that kind of stuff. Yeah. It was that kind of stuff. She seemed nice though. She seemed really nice. I always thought that was funny that she like cornered her.
DVD girl, she's hot, man. So bathe
her
and bring her. Yeah, okay.
I don't know what happened to her. He only brought her one time. He brings a different one like every time.
He told me she moved away.
Oh, okay. He brings a different one every time. Yeah. And sometimes it's funny because he always like hires one to come to Saturday nights, which are like 80s new wave. So you can tell that because he likes them young. Okay. Yeah. And he's our age. Actually, he's in his 50s. So he'll bring one that's like 20.
Yeah.
And they're just like not about it.
That trans girl was in her 20s, like 22, 23.
Yeah, she was super young.
Yeah.
She was super young. Well, like I said, he likes them young.
Yeah.
Which is a little weird, but okay. I mean, they're consenting, I guess.
What the fuck was that chick's name?
I know it's
Jessica?
like that was the other trans girl that we knew.
Yeah, okay.
Her name was Jessica.
We gotta go.
Yeah, we really gotta go. We gotta go to Memento Mori tonight.
Yeah.
It opens at 10. Well, there's not going to be anybody there until later, but we'll see what it is. Okay. So we got to go. Thank you for hanging out with us this evening, having a drink with us, talking about bullshit like we usually do. We'll be back on Monday for a movie review. Don't know what movie it is. We haven't watched it yet, so you'll be as surprised as we are. So yeah, thanks for super chats. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you guys again on Monday. Good night.